7, Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the fraught I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown sports headlines. Welcome in to Cattles and Ramie.
Not the boring, generic milquetoast stuff coming from the network in Connecticut.
I describe him as the best, obviously.
Cattles.
He throws it out there, speaks his mind. That's cool.
And Ramie.
He's supposed to make people laugh. He's just an expert at it.
Cattles and Ramie.
Live and local in the afternoon.
Sactown Sports.
All right, so let's start with the positives. It's Friday and it's 84 degrees outside.
Those are two very good things.
We are closer to the weekend.
Very, very good things.
I don't know, honestly, if the Kings could play worse than they played last night.
That was ugly.
That was brutal.
That was, yes.
Wasn't fun.
Whitey said frustrating. I thought that was a perfect word. Brutal. Also the perfect word.
Irritating. Woeful.
Yes.
At times repugnant.
Repugnant.
Yes.
Double word score.
Disconcerting.
That's a good one. It's 4 syllables.
Look at Nick, a little Sathoris.
I don't even want to say what Simone did to poor Chris Watkins before we got on the air.
That was pretty bad.
I believe she put Chris in his place.
And she knew she was doing it while she did it. Was
Do
the
not
worst
come
part.
for me unless I call for you.
But he didn't. That's the thing, is he didn't even come for you.
He was just trying to pronounce a place that he went to go have something to eat.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal, man.
We're just talking clam chowder. It's fine.
It's rough.
Ramie, what's your number one takeaway from last night?
Is it too stupid and simple of me to say they just missed too many shots, Nick Cattles? Is that too
I don't think it's too simple or stupid.
And you know what? My initial instinct is to say, come on, you can come up with something better than that. But I'll keep going back to this. What did Jay Triano say would be the difference in this series?
Yeah.
The way that the Kings would win this series. That's a veteran NBA coach. That's a guy with decades in this league who said that it'll come down to who makes more shots. And yesterday and throughout this series, Nick, the Kings have just been missing too many shots. They got away with it for 2 games, but they've just been missing too many shots in yesterday's game. And the worst part, I'll get to the worst part about it in just a second, but they shot 23% from 3, 38% from the field as a team. But the worst part about it is the easy stuff, man.
Yeah.
Is the easy stuff. For starters, a lot of those threes and field goal attempts that I just mentioned were open shots. Like the Warriors were making them work for it. I'm not going to say that the Warriors weren't playing defense. They were making them work to get open, but guys were getting open and were just missing shots. On top of that, you got to the free throw line the same amount that they did and shot under 70% from the free throw line. They gave you an opportunity to make some ground there because they weren't great from the free throw line, only shooting 78%.
Yep.
On top of that, the Kings were turning the ball over too much. 15 turnovers, 10 from your 2 best players between Domas and Fox, 6 and 4 respectively. But they got 22 points off those 15 turnovers. The Warriors were more careful with the ball than they've been for 2 games. But still not all that careful. They gave you a chance to make up some ground there, too, with 12 turnovers of their own, and the Kings could only convert that into 7 points.
Yeah, to hop on the shots train here, Will Zimmerly on Twitter does a great job throwing statistics out. And you talked about open shots, the shots that were there to be had that you were missing, the easy ones, quote unquote. Will Z, the Kings, on wide open threes last night, 6 of 27, 22% on wide open threes. When you look at this series, okay,
that's worse than their overall average from the 3-point line.
Not even close.
That means
it's well below.
That means they were hitting them more often when they were covered than when they were open.
So Deuce Mason, game 1, 12 of 32. Game 2, 9 of 38. Last night, 11 for 47 from 3. That's a total of 32 for 117. You're shooting 27% from 3-point land. Will Z on threes again. Through 3 games, I just told you 32 for 117, 27% from 3. Will Z, in those 3 games, 72 of those 117 threes have been wide open. The Kings have made 19. 26.4% of the wide open threes. Here's more. John Wilson gives you some context about the wide open 3-point percentage. In the regular season, wide open threes, the Kings hit 39%. Again, in this series, 26.4%. In the regular season, wide open field goals, right? Just twos. Wide open twos. Kings in the regular season, 42%. In this series, 30%. They're getting open shots. They just consistently are not making them. And that's going to drive you crazy. It's going to drive you absolutely nuts. And here's one other thing that I would say. It's not just about missing open shots. I did not like how they came out last night. I did not like their approach in the first half. I thought they got way too 3-happy. Domas at halftime had 5 field goal attempts. Not enough. At halftime, the Kings had 14 points in the paint. 14 paint points. I think they had, 60 in game 2? I thought they lacked attack, man. And look, you can give some of the credit for sure to the Warriors. I thought they played small. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Gave the Kings some headaches, and they clogged the lanes better, right? They stayed in front better. But where are the deep paint touches you and I talked about? Where's Domas parking his tuchus down deep in the paint near the rim, especially when Kevon Looney's not in the game? And by the way, where was the ball movement? Not all threes are created equal. I've said that to you. I've said that to everybody. That's why I disagree with Jay Triano going back several weeks ago when he said any 3 is a good 3. Sorry, Coach Triano. I disagree with that. You have to move the ball. You've got to touch the paint. And the Kings did not do enough of that last night. Will Z again. I'll quote him. He does a great job. Ramie this season, in the regular season.
He said Ramie this season?
This season, right? Kings passes per game. They averaged almost 300 passes a game, 299 passes per game. In this series, 257. Now, to give you context, that would pretty much tie them with the Lakers for the second fewest passes per game in the regular season. They're not moving the ball. They're settling for threes. Not enough ball movement. Not enough man movement, especially last night. Tim Maxwell. Last night, the Kings attempted 16 threes with between 15 and 18 seconds remaining on the shot clock. 16 of their 3-point attempts came within 15, 18 seconds left on the shot. See, you're talking about 6 to 9 seconds into the shot clock, and you're just hoisting with lack of ball movement, which again tells me you're settling for threes. You're not necessarily creating threes last night.
When I'm watching the game, though, Nick, I'm not seeing a lot of bad decisions. And that sounds like they must be bad shots. Oh my God, that can't be a great omen.
No,
Grogu's
hat just
got
fell.
Distracted because Baby Yoda's hat fell off his head.
Not great.
Hat just
although it is pretty funny when I just watched it on the YouTube. It slowly slid down the front of his face.
They look like, if it's an open shot, I say take it, Nick. I say take it. And I don't know if that's the Warriors baiting the Kings into taking the shot and not making the extra pass, and the Kings just aren't taking advantage of that and capitalizing on that. But I didn't see a lot of bad shots last night. I just saw a lot, and the numbers you gave me a minute ago back that up. What did you say? They had 26 open looks from the 3-point line? That if it's open, take it. This is a 3-point shooting team.
Here's my pushback on that.
You just got to hit them.
So out of the 16 threes, right, that I just mentioned, that Tim Maxwell tweeted about, they hit one of those. And my issue is this. If you're not making your threes, they couldn't throw it in the ocean last night. Then attack. Start to attack the inside. Force the Warriors to react to that, and then go back to shooting threes. It seems to me that, they love shooting threes because that's what they do. But Ramie, even if they're off to a very slow start like last night, we did not see that in game 2. Game 2, they attacked the paint. Game 1, they attacked the paint. They weren't shooting great. They went after the rim, right? They did different things. They went after the mid-range. Last night, they did not get off to a great start from 3, and they just kept chucking and ducking. And to me, it's like you can change that approach a little bit. And when you look at, the 2 attempts, the 2-point attempts, in game 1, they took 66 2-point field goal attempts in game 1. That number in game 2 dropped to 54. That number last night dropped to 45. That's a trend. The trend in this series is that the Kings are falling in love with the 3, whether they make them or not. Not making them pretty much. They're falling in love with the 3, and they're starting to abandon the paint.
They're the 14th. They're 14th among playoff teams in 3-point shooting percentage and 12th in offensive rating right now.
Ugh. We're talking about the team that was historically great on offense.
There's only 16 teams in the playoffs. They're 14th in 3-point. Who's worst at them? I didn't look that up. Who's shooting the 3 worst than the Kings right now in the playoffs?
Maybe Atlanta, maybe Miami.
And how are those fan bases feeling today? Oof. But 14th among all teams in 3-point percentage and 12th in offensive rating. And maybe the Warriors see that and they're like, "Hey, we'll start defending the 3 when y'all start hitting them."
Yeah.
And the Kings haven't taken that dare very well.
They're not forcing the Warriors to be concerned at the 3-point line. It's not like the Warriors have been on fire from 3. They've been bad too.
Yeah.
But the Kings have been even worse. All right, your thoughts. We'll talk to Frankie Cardicelli at 2:30. Want to hear from you, though. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. Don't forget YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. You can swing on by and give us that thumbs up. Again, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Okay, you heard from Ramie. His number 1 takeaway, you got that. Now you'll hear mine in 90 seconds.
One brings Macloff magic.
Cattles and Rock.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports wants to congratulate Kings head coach Mike Brown for being the first coach to unanimously win the NBA Coach of the Year award.
100 first place votes, first time ever. Wow. A unanimous decision.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. I'm really appreciative of being in Sacramento. The fans, the city has been fantastic.
How will Coach Brown lead the Kings during the playoffs?
Tune in to Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com to find out.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, a.k.a. sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/Viagra. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/Viagra.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
We just keep adding the props for the YouTube people. By the way, can you move that microphone in front of Baby Yoda? It looks inappropriate. Thanks. So we got Baby Yoda with the Kings cap on. We got the Beam Brothers. What would we call it? Poster board behind Ramie.
Yup.
Oh, I didn't even see they put that over my shoulder. Look at that.
Yep, there they are.
Hey,
DeMontis Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox, the Beam Brothers. You can swing by youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140 to check out the props, check out what's going on here with Ramie and I.
Right there.
Before we get to some of the reaction and to my number 1 takeaway from last night, Ramie, you were looking up some numbers during that 90-second break.
Yeah, because I pointed out they're 14th in the playoffs in 3-point percentage. And we both went, who could be shooting the basketball worse from 3 than the Kings are right now? And the answer is the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks.
I had the Hawks.
Yes, you did. And the Kings are shooting 27.4%. Atlanta is at 27.3%. And the Knicks are shooting 25.9% from 3-point. But,
yuck.
Do you know who's 13th?
Who?
In the playoffs?
Golden State.
Golden State. Shooting just 32.1%.
Yeah, they've been bad.
So they've given you every opportunity.
Yep.
They gave you every opportunity to stay in that game last night, and they did. And the Kings didn't take it, and have given you every opportunity to just blow them out of this series. If you're anywhere near the offense you were in the regular season.
Frankie Cardicelli will join us in 15 minutes. Tony Dogs was a little upset about Ramie's camera, but we got that straightened out.
What happened with my camera?
It was a little too focused on the behind the glass, which it still is, but we evened it out with the Beam Brothers poster board.
Yes.
So
I like having the booth over my shoulder and for people to see Simone and Jay and everybody else that's involved in the show.
Linda Harold, happy Friday. Happy Friday, Linda. We need Baby Yoda's good luck again. Fast. Yes. Fast. We need Baby Yoda fast.
Pace.
Craig Simmons, it was all that 3-0 talk yesterday. Wink, it was ugly. There wasn't a lot of 3-0 talk. I think there was
talked some trash yesterday.
There was hope.
Yeah,
there was hope that if you could go up 3-0, it would have been fantastic.
I talked some stuff. I'm okay with it.
Text line, no panic necessary. I don't think anybody's panicked. I'm far from panicked right now. I don't think anybody should be panicked about what happened last night.
No.
I think a couple things happened last night. Ramie said one of them. His number one takeaway, just make some shots, especially the open ones from 3. I thought last night watching the game, I could feel it through the television that the Warriors were the much more desperate team. And that should be obvious. They were the ones down 0-2. But it was tangible watching the game. Offensively, Ramie, you just mentioned it, what they've shot all series long from 3. The Warriors have not been very good offensively in this series. And last night, they weren't very good. They shot 40% from the field. They shot 32% from 3. They shot 78% from the free throw line. The Warriors' offense was not great last night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I'm seeing all these people talking about how great Steph was. I thought Steph was good. He wasn't great. He was good. It wasn't one of those out-of-body experiences.
The mouth guard hanging out of the mouth is getting on my damn nerves.
It's going to be there. It's going to be there the whole series, my friend.
Sucking on it like a pacifier.
It was just the desperation that you felt from the Warriors and the urgency and the intensity and the energy. And I did not think the Kings met any of that. I did not think the Kings met the intensity. I did not feel like the Kings met the urgency. I thought they did not have the energy. It was lackluster. And I thought that the Warriors were the more desperate team, and they played like the more desperate team. Here's Coach Mike Brown last night.
When we go back and watch the film, we're you give them credit, though, but we're missing some open threes. I thought Keegan had a couple open. I thought Fox had a hit, and they're trying to make certain guys shoot open threes. And we definitely didn't make them tonight, but
we can cut that. That's Coach Brown talking about the open threes, which fits Ramie's take. But you can look at some of these other statistics, right, Ramie? I mean, 18 offensive rebounds. It reminds me of the New York Knicks game on national television when Coach Brown came out and just absolutely reamed the team and said, we got to be better than that. We lacked physicality. We just lacked any kind of force. 18 offensive rebounds for Golden State. They beat you in second chance points last night, 24-12. They doubled you up in second chance points. Points in the paint, they actually beat you in points in the paint.
Yep.
They had 40, you had 38. And it just felt like, I'm sure it wasn't the case, but it felt like to me watching that game that almost every single 50-50 ball ended up with the Warriors. 50-50 balls, offensive rebounds, second chance points, points in the paint. The Warriors were more desperate. They played like it, and you did not meet their level.
Do you think that was we have a 2-0 lead and they let up a little bit, or do you think that was going on the road for the first time in the playoffs, all the smoke around the Draymond Green situation? You got a fired up champion on the other side staring you down. Like what? Why? Because I definitely noticed. I think most people would notice just looking at the energy of those two teams last night, right out of the gates and straight through the finish line. But I don't, because we've said all season, Nick, they've been, no moment has been too big for them. So I don't quite understand what happened there last night in terms of the energy and them not being up for that moment.
Well, I'll get to it a little bit later. I do want to address, I thought the Kings let the narrative kind of impact their play last night. I'll get deeper into that later on in the show. I think there was some of that, hearing the noise and kind of letting the noise get to you.
I don't think anybody could not see the difference in the two teams and their intensity and desperation last night.
I also thought the other part of it was that the Warriors just played cleaner than you did. And they played cleaner than they had earlier in the series. I mean, when you look at it, they only had 12 turnovers last night, which is a great number for them. It's difficult to beat Golden State if they turn the ball over 10, 11, 12 times. You've got to get them to 15, 17, 18 turnovers, and that'll help the cause. But 12 turnovers last night. You go back to game 2, they turned the ball over 22 times. 22 turnovers in game 2. Last night, they only had 12. And then you also had the foul situation. When you look at 18 fouls last night compared to 26 fouls in game 2. So less personal fouls, less turnovers. They beat you on the glass, offensive rebounds. They beat you with the second chance points. And those are killers, man. Those are absolute killers. Let's go to KD. KD wants to talk about Kings Warriors. What's up, KD?
What's happening, guys? Hey, big fan here, but let me just chime in a couple areas that I think is, because you guys are right. Statistics are all there, and we can look at the statistics and we know what's going on. But the problem is this team, if you look at Keegan Murphy, Porter, they haven't played well at all the whole series, with the exception of a little bit of offense from Porter the other night. Okay? They were getting too much minutes on the floor.
Yeah, but KD, hold on. Who are you going to play?
Wait.
Who are you going to play instead of Keegan and Huerter?
In a game 3, when you're 2 up and you got guys not giving you any offense, no defense, you saw that the Warriors put in people we never even seen before. They went out there and hustled. I'm saying they might be for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, or whatever the case. Well, that is a problem. You got Sabonis had 12 points the first game, and I'm not mistaken, maybe
KD,
15 yesterday.
I don't
point that he wasn't.
KD, hold on one second. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but my point is, who do you go to then?
Yeah.
Like who's on the bench? Who's on the bench that's going to give you a better chance to score than Keegan Murray, Kevin Huerter, and you have absolutely zero backup if you even want to entertain the idea of bringing somebody in for Domas. Who do you have?
You think Chimezie Metu is a better defender than Keegan Murphy?
Okay, defender, yes. He might be a better defender. I don't think. Hold on, I don't think Metu's a better defender. But if we're talking about defense, you started talking about they're not scoring. My question is, if you want offensive punch, who are you going to bring in? Who are you going to replace? And we're up against it. We got Frankie coming up. Thanks for the phone call, KD. Here's the problem. We'll get to Keegan Murray a little bit later.
And Keegan Murphy.
He's been, yes, him too. He's been unplayable. Keegan's been unplayable, okay? He has not been good. But let's go back to the trading deadline. We talked about it. This team desperately needed another experienced wing that could knock down the occasional shot. They don't have that. So who are you going to play? If you put Lyles in there for him, now you got Keegan coming off the bench. That's going to help Keegan. Like, the problem is they don't have a lot of options.
You're not changing your starting lineup now.
Kessler Edwards ain't it.
Unless it's for an injury.
Maybe for 2 or 3 minutes of defense, maybe. I thought Kessler should have played last night instead of TD, by the way, because TD was abominable. But Mike Brown doesn't have a lot of options coming off that bench right now. He really doesn't. So how about this idea? They need Keegan and Huerter to play better and make shots. And Huerter hasn't been terrible. He's been okay. Keegan's been terrible. Frankie C. joins us to discuss Kings Warriors next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
A source
is I've read it a couple times online.
Dave, I mean, I don't need any more, do you?
I'm convinced. Because if you read it just once online,
Yeah, a couple,
it's
yep.
garbage.
I have really read it.
If you read it a couple times, well, lock it in, baby.
I see why you love this segment, Dave.
I do.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento Weather Expert has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take all that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, no realtor commissions. Go to bridgehavenhomes.com. That's bridgehavenhomes.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Burt Eldridge, and so many more. Plus, a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Haul Car Wash.
Growing a business brings pressure. Staying compliant and retaining top talent in challenging times. You feel stretched thin. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put over 35 years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Engaged people empowered to be their best means overcoming obstacles. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope.
It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the fraught I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Our Sactown Sports Kings cowboy Frankie C joins the show right now.
It's time to get caught up on what's going on in Kings Nation. And who better to do it than our guy, Frankie C. It's our Kings cowboy, Frankie Cardicelli.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west where real women come equipped with scripts and fake press. Find a nest in the hills, chill like Flint. Buy an old drop top, find a spot to pimp. Then I'm a kid.
Happy Friday, everybody. By the way,
I hate this song.
Jimmy Ocean's 14th asks, what's the plus minus with Draymond on the floor? I can only tell you that Draymond in the first 2 games, he was a -1 each. So total, he's a -2 in the series.
That's good math.
Frankie joining us here on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Frankie, thank you for joining us, buddy. Did the Warriors look like the more desperate team to you last night?
What the hell song was that? First of all,
That's your song, man.
I'm with you, Frankie. I hate that song. That's a terrible song.
Well, I'm getting a little echo on my side. I'm hearing myself in my ear. I'm not sure.
That's a problem.
That could be an issue. We're gonna try to. We're gonna try to iron that out, Frankie. This is not the most smooth beginning of an interview in radio history. Tell you that. I think we just put Frankie on hold. Not really sure what's happening.
That is a truly terrible song we brought him in with, though.
Cowboy baby, you don't like that one?
No, wasn't that the Undertaker's entrance when he started coming out on a motorcycle?
No. Are we good? Do you hear yourself, Frankie?
I hear a little bit, but I think I can manage.
Okay, how about we just jump into this? Warriors more desperate last night. Did it look like that to you?
Oh yeah, they're playing like a team that was backed against the wall, and obviously they're still the Golden State Warriors. I know the Kings they had a great 2 games at home, but top 3 team in the league at home for a reason, and they proved it last night. Now, aside from the fact that Kings couldn't make threes, you got Steph Curry who had a big night. We all kind of knew it was coming, and I'm not feeling too down today. I think the Kings have proven they can handle adversity and they've responded, but they're going to have to do it in a tough environment on Sunday with a team that's going to get back Draymond Green to get back Gary Payton II. So they had a chance, squandered it, and on to other opportunities here.
How concerned are you? How concerned should Kings fans be with the shooting so far in this series, Frankie? I said before we brought you on, they're 14th among playoff teams in 3-point percentage right now. They're 12th in offensive efficiency. This is nowhere near the team that we saw in the regular season.
It's concerning, but this happened before. I was kind of diving into things before hopping on with you guys, and they've had 5 other times this season where they've shot under 30% from 3 this year. They've responded every time. I mean, in all those opportunities, except the last one, obviously. The last 3-game stretch where they went under 30% was the final 3 games of the season. Again, those were games where the Kings had already locked in a playoff spot and were sitting some of their guys. But they responded to a couple of those stretches by shooting 38, 39%. And one of them, they shot 40% over a 3-game stretch, I believe, in February. They need a breakthrough. And I think that they're due for a big night. They had some open looks. They didn't fall. Mike Brown said after the game that he felt good about the shots they're taking. And even for myself, too, like I like the shots they're taking as well. There weren't too many forces. Of course, there are always a couple, but I think you guys brought up the Will Z stats about open threes. They have open looks. They're not knocking them down. So you have to hope it's a percentage game and that the shots will start falling sooner than later. But hopefully they start falling on Sunday, because you really would hate to have this thing be 2-2 going back home. And a 3-1 series lead would be very daunting for the Warriors and would make you feel good about yourself through the team.
Frankie Cardicelli is with us here, Cattles and Ramie, on this Friday. Frankie, can the Kings win this series if Domas isn't better against Looney than he was last night?
Yeah, I mean, I think they can, but that goes back to three-point shooting. But I do think Sabonis, what the Warriors done a good job of taking away his passing game, and when he's not able to get his teammates involved, that makes the Kings a much worse team. And the rebounds are there. Rebounds are there on Domas' side, but it's the other people around I'm looking at that. I saw multiple plays last night where you have 3 or 4 white jerseys standing around, and you have players like Dante DiVincenzo. You have Jonathan Kuminga with a highlight reel putback dunk. The Kings need more on the glass, and specifically the offensive glass. The Warriors last night on the offensive board made a huge difference. Second chance points killed the Kings. So Domas, I do need to pick it up on other aspects, but the team as a whole I'm looking at to pick it up on the offensive board and stop those second chance points from biting them in the end.
Keegan Murray had 16 minutes in each of the first 2 games, 22 minutes in last night's game. And honestly, I don't know if he even gets 22. I think Mike Brown just left him in late to see if he could get it going and find his shot. With his struggles and just the overall struggles to shoot the basketball, do you think there's any change in Mike Brown's rotations and minutes distribution regarding Keegan Murray?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've already been kind of seeing it. Some of that's been because of foul trouble. Keegan's gotten in foul trouble in the past couple of games. But I do think, especially when we get later in the series, you can see more of those tests for Edwards minutes. I know he kind of played late in the game the other night, but the Kings are getting nothing from Keegan right now. They're not getting any offense. Obviously, they're not getting much defense from him either. You need something. If you're not going to get anything out of him, you need to get at least one side. And that was the biggest knock on Casey Alcala, who was here earlier in the season. He was only a one-dimensional player. He only brought defense, a 0 on offense. But the Kings need something right now. Because right now, Keegan's getting blown by on defense. The shots aren't falling. You can't have multiple minutes out there where a high impact, a high rotation guy is not bringing you any impact. So the Kings did get creative. Mike Brown was playing Terrence Davis for some stretch the other night. You did see Alex Len, obviously, but maybe he taps a little deeper in the bench and goes to Kessler, especially if someone like Klay Thompson is going.
Last one for you, Frankie. What do you think happens on Sunday?
I'm really not too down. I'm actually, last night I was pretty upbeat. I think the Kings were it was the worst offensive performance of the season.
Yeah.
For them. So I do think they're going to bounce back. I would not be surprised if that was a win. I think they're control the series, but it's stopping the fall. And I'm still feeling about the Kings. I'm feeling good.
All right, Frankie. Enjoy San Francisco. We'll see you when you get back, man. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend.
You too. There goes Frankie Cardicelli, SactownSports.com. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Frankie's staying there because we talked about the team's travel plans and whether you come back.
I have no idea. I don't know if he's staying the entire time.
Just asking.
I'm guessing he's going to stay. I don't know.
You said enjoy San Francisco. I thought you knew. My bad.
Well, yeah, I don't. He's in San Francisco, so enjoy San Francisco. See you when you get back. He can enjoy San Francisco today and then come back tonight. You can do it tomorrow. He did not share his itinerary with me, so I'm not really sure when he's going to eat dinner.
Okay, I thought you knew because of the way you worded that. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. Not a smooth start here, folks. Not a smooth start.
I think we're having a fine show.
Oh, yeah. 1-800-920-1140 is the phone number. The text line is 916-339-1140. YouTube.com, Sactown Sports 1140.
80 degrees.
I will tell you that Baby Yoda's having a great show.
Having a great show.
There's no doubt about that. Baby Yoda's fantastic.
Look at that little smile.
Continues to do work here. All right, we'll continue with some of your reaction. Also, let's make sure we have the dump button ready because JJ is fired up. Find out why next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Steel Super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season.
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
The clock is ticking. Get off the bench and head down to Fastener's Tool Outlet, where you'll find the lowest prices on Milwaukee power tools and much more. Why pay more at a big box store? Get a triple-double at Fastener's Tool Outlet with weekly and monthly specials, including up to 50% off select hand tools, batteries, power tools, and fasteners. Whether you're looking for a new pack-out box, woodworking equipment, or a Milwaukee impact driver, Fastener's Tool Outlet has the tools you need to do the job. Make a slam dunk with Fastener's Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road, or on the web at fastenersinc.net.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cochran with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The credit card treadmill isn't some fad workout routine. It is what's facing many Americans who find themselves with higher debt loads that are leading to even higher debt loads. Lighter wallets and heavier credit card bills? This is the reality that many Americans are grappling with. Americans spend an average of $400 extra per month to afford the same goods and services they did a year ago. Current costs are only part of the picture when determining the effect inflation is having on many Americans. Higher costs of goods and services are hurting pocketbooks now and changing behavior such as reducing retirement savings and lowering emergency savings. According to Bankrate, 68% of adults are saving less for emergencies due to inflation. This means the true cost of our current inflation may be felt several years from now still. While Federal Reserve action against inflation has hurt current 401k balances, ignoring it could prove to be infinitely worse. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
At Elk Grove Honda, we'd like to help you purchase your next new Honda. Right now at Elk Grove Honda, new Hondas are arriving on a regular basis, including the newly designed CR-V, new design Accords, exciting Civics, and much more. And Elk Grove Honda's pre-owned inventory offers choices there as well. So give Elk Grove Honda a chance to show you the new or pre-owned Honda you're looking for. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
We didn't miss it.
See right there. You see it?
I think that we just chose not to tell you. Well, we're ready now. It's how did we not get into it?
Get it, Toya!
All right, so we're going to get back to the Kings to start the 3 o'clock hour. Talk about the narrative heading into Game 3 last night and how I think it impacted the Kings. But before we get back to the Kings, we got to get to something that we didn't get to this week. We have been pretty much 98% Kings this entire week, as we should be.
Yes.
So we've missed a few things. And one of the things that we missed was the story that came out yesterday morning about the Oakland A's entering into an agreement to buy land in Vegas. Certainly seems like the A's are on their way out, and they will be the Las Vegas A's within the next few years. Now, I'm going to get Ramie's take on this, but really this segment is for JJ. JJ is an A's fan, and when I tell you that JJ has been fired up the last 2 days behind the scenes about this story, that would be an understatement. JJ is... I
would be too, man.
He's excited.
I couldn't imagine.
No.
I honestly couldn't imagine.
So, Ramie, I'll first go to you, and then I am personally going to cede my time to Jay Johnson and let him just vent all that he wants to vent about the Oakland A's.
I'll keep my part short, too, because I want to give Jay plenty of time. As far as the public funding of stadiums, just generally speaking.
Yes.
It's pretty stupid. It's a pretty stupid racket that billionaires got going. And if you don't believe me, John Oliver, a couple of years ago on HBO, did a deep dive on the public funding of stadiums and how it really isn't worth the squeeze in terms of the deal on that. And I'm sure you can go and find that on YouTube. But I'll also say this. Like, it kind of is what it is. You know what I mean? And we're at this point now where these teams expect it, okay? And it's just a way of doing business. And bringing any corporation or major business to any city is going to come with some perks.
Yeah.
It'll be tax breaks, it'll be subsidies, it'll be public funded somehow, some way, if somebody is coming to your city or your town with a lot of jobs or the potential to create a lot of revenue. So it just is what it is. If you want to keep major league teams, you're probably going to have to pony up some cash as a city, as a state, as a county, whatever the case might be. But there's no denying that the A's ownership has been very, very crappy about this whole thing. And I don't know that they ever intended to stay in Oakland or were ever dealing in good faith. I think there's plenty of blame to go around here. Obviously, the ownership didn't handle it well. But when you lose 3 teams in a matter of 5 years, something wrong there. You know what I mean? In terms of that city's capability, processes, whatever the case might be.
They should lose Tampa, honestly.
Yeah, they really should. So Jay, it seems to me like obvious the A's themselves probably shoulder most of the blame in this. But man, what is going on that Oakland has lost 3 professional teams in 5 years between the Warriors, the Raiders, and now the A's?
Well, I'll say this. You spoke to about there's a lot of blame to go around.
Yes.
Absolutely. There is. And before I go on the diatribe, I'm gonna let Ken Rosenthal get off what he said a couple days ago on the podcast. So we'll start there, fellas.
Yes, Vegas sounds very exciting, I'm sure, to fans who are not fans of the Oakland A's. It's going to be cool to see a team there. I get that. But for fans of the Oakland A's who have supported this team, it's a crushing day. And you might say, well, what are you talking about, Ken? They draw 5,000. Yeah, they draw 5,000. And you know why? Because the owner, John Fisher, has wrecked the club. And he has shown really disdain for competing in this sport while, in my view, setting up this whole Vegas plan and essentially wanting to fail in Oakland so Vegas would look that much more rational. It's rational. They're going to do well financially with this deal, but at some point you've got to run a baseball team again. And I was there 2 nights ago. I walked into that clubhouse, and Eric and Brock, I want to tell you something. I have never walked into a clubhouse, certainly not on April 18th or whatever it was, and seen a group of players, veteran players, so upset and disturbed by their situation because they know there's no hope. And that's not right. And that is what John Fisher has wreaked with the A's. And I know people will celebrate this, I understand, and there are all kinds of views on all sides, but for the people of Oakland, it's not good, and it wasn't right what happened.
So, fellas, one of the things I've learned that I've tried to learn, and, thanks to my mom, grandmother, family, teachers, everybody, sometimes you just got to learn when not to say something and be quiet, right? And so if I said what I really wanted to say on this show, I would get in trouble. You guys would get in trouble.
We'd be looking for a new producer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the station would get in trouble, right?
Yes.
So please understand that I'm coming from an angle with that knowledge. Let's start in baseball. For someone that started, baseball is my first love, someone that started at Lemon Hill Little League here in Sacramento at the age of 5, my very first team was the Oakland A's. I was on the A's team, right? And so with all that being said, this is something that I love. This is a team that I love. And prior to any other sport, any other team, my Oakland A's. That's my squad.
Yeah.
We begin with baseball. We start with Bud Selig, 2005. The fact that there were better ownership opportunities before Wolf and John Fisher had an opportunity to buy the team. And quite frankly, you gave John Fisher the one up because your college roommate was John Fisher's best friend. It's about who you know. Mm-hmm. I get it. I understand that. You allowed them to buy the team when there were way better offers from way better ownership, way proven ownership. John Fisher, who was coming to money because of who his family is, who owned the Gap. The opportunity was there, and because he knew the college roommate, you got over. So we'll start there. We'll start also with Bud Selig and Manfred in baseball, and the fact that you guys have denied the A's. San Jose, Fremont, Sacramento was thrown out there for a while before Rayleigh Field was here. That was supposed to be along the river. Union City, Newark, all kind of different places that have been offered by the Oakland A's. We also got to touch on the Giants. You guys have been crying for many moons and many years and have come to baseball, MLB, and allowed the territorial rights to be continuously not reshuffled. We all know that in history, there are times that things that happened 67 years ago don't stand for the time that we are in currently.
They don't apply to the current
they
circumstances.
Don't. Absolutely don't, right? And baseball has allowed the territory of the San Francisco Giants to dictate what the Oakland A's have been able to do, ownership-wise and in league-wise. And the San Francisco Giants ownership and whoever else makes those decisions within the MLB process, down at the office in New York or whatever, all you guys are tied to that. And the Giants, they have blood on their hands as well because they've been crying for years and years. Just look at the territorial rights the Giants have in Northern California compared to what the Oakland A's do. And that goes back to 60 some odd years when the Giants came here to poach them from New York. You had to give, basically Northern California was theirs, right? The third part of that is when it comes to baseball is how dare you? How dare you allow John Fisher and the Oakland A's to continue to steal money? You heard Ken Rosenthal speak on it, but the A's were in the top 5 when it comes to revenue sharing profits. They finished 4th last year behind the Mets, the Yankees. Come on.
Ridiculous.
How dare you, baseball, MLB, allow the A's and John Fisher to continue to swindle and act like Oakland is a small market when 7 minutes gets you from Oakland to San Francisco, which is a top 7 market, top 5 market in our country. You guys got to be crazy. Second part of it is when it comes to Oakland, the city of Oakland, you spoke to it, the fibers, the cultural positions that the Raiders, the A's, the Warriors were in San Francisco before and they came across. So I pushed them to the side.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Raiders and the A's are being able to be, moved to Las Vegas, the politicians, Libby Schaaf, Xing Tao, the city council over the last 25 years How dare you allow the Oakland A's to leave? How dare you? How dare you talk about you can only pony up so much money when you haven't ponied up any money to anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the team that you were going to pony up to? You've allowed people's dreams, goals, aspirations, the fiber of what Oakland is, from the west of Acorn to the east of the hundreds to the north of Ice Polar Bear. And if you know Oakland, then you know what I'm talking about. How dare you as a city allow that to happen? And finally, when it's all really said and done, John Fisher and the Oakland A's, the organization, Dave Kaval is a Johnny-come-lately. He was supposed to be a savior. I'm not going to jump on Dave Kaval as a lot of people have over the last 4 or 5 years, but John Fisher, dude, you rich, man. You are rich. You're taking my money as a fan. You're taking Sports 1140's money when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking all Oakland A's fans' money and basically throwing at us. Because that's what people care about. They don't care about our emotions, our feelings. They don't care about what we did to get to the game, capital corridors, BARTs, all those different things. You care about our money. So we're going to talk about money here. And you have a ton of it. You have a ton of it. And you continuously keep on saying you want to stay in Oakland, but when it's all said and done, you want to leave. Just say that. You could have been sold.
Yep.
You could have been sold. You haven't allowed the team. And I'll say this in closing, and thank you guys for letting me vent. You know, it feels good for me to jump on the couch and talk to everybody. And I understand, I only get 30 minutes or I'm going to pay the extra hour, right? But I say this in closing, fellas. It means so much. And I asked this question to Raider fans when they left. Would you still be a Raiders fan? Would you still believe in the shield? Would you still float the flag? And for me as an Oakland A's fan, man, I just can't. It's over. And if it goes through, it definitely is done for me, And so with all that being said, it's a tough day. It's a tough week. I don't know if it happens. I don't know what happens. It seems like that's the way it's going to go. But I do want John Fisher and the Oakland A's to understand and know this, that if you had an opportunity and it did, and you chose to, put our feelings and emotions and our money into it, you'll have to live with that at the end of it all. You'll have to live with that. Not Oakland A's fans, right? We'll be okay. It's all good.
All right, so there's JJ's thoughts on the A's. Very good stuff from him. Coming up, I'll tell you why I think the noise got to the Kings a little bit last night.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Good morning, Jacob. Welcome in.
Sac Kings fans are the best. I was at Game 2. Every single man in the bathroom at halftime washed his hands. I've never seen that at another sports stadium anywhere in the world.
Way to go, Kings fans. I don't think I would ever expected to hear that.
We're the cleanest fans in the NBA.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell & Cordell.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. Skeeter here, Field Tech, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District. Hey, it's my favorite week of the year, Mosquito Awareness Week. Yep, the spring and warm weather means the little suckers are starting to breed and bite. Gotcha. So it's time to fight the bite. Once a week, drain standing water from flower pots, bird baths, dog dishes, and at dawn and dusk, start using insect repellent outside and wear long clothes, because these skeeters are out for blood.
The Sacramento Yolo Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you it's time to fight the bite. For more information, go to fightthebite.net.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the fraught I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Welcome back in to Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
You know, heading into Game 3, we talked an awful lot about Domas and Draymond Green. The incident, the stomping. Of course, we had J.J. Redick out there saying that the Kings were playing dirty. And I said yesterday on the show,
It's
Ramie,
a foul.
that I
saw it. It's a foul.
I expected tight officiating in the game last night. Now, it wasn't as tight as I anticipated, honestly. I thought they let the guys play a little bit for the most part. But I also think, watching last night, I felt like the Kings let the narrative impact their physicality. I thought the Kings looked like a team that did not want to be overly physical because they were concerned that the whistle might not go their way. And this really stood out with Domantas Sabonis. I thought he was less physical than he usually is. But team-wide, I just felt like the narrative got to them, that they were concerned that the officiating crew was going to get in the way. They didn't want a bunch of free throws going for the Warriors. They didn't want to get into foul trouble. And they did not bring that level of physicality that they had brought through the first two games. Here was Domas in the postgame last night.
We're playing our game. Like I said, I just feel like we didn't have that grit. We probably didn't win all the 50-50 balls, stuff like that. So all that little stuff matters, The
offensive rebounds, the 50-50 balls. But I'll start defensively. In game two, I thought it was rather obvious right off the jump that the Kings were going to put the pressure on Golden State. And they were going to put the pressure on Steph Curry and Jordan Poole and all of the ball handlers for the Warriors. And you could tell in the first 5 minutes of that game on Monday night, they were up in their airspace. They were bumping them. They were grabbing them. They were playing physical. The pickup points were pretty high, right near half court. The intensity was at a different level. And defensively last night, I just didn't feel that. Watching the game last night, I felt like the Warriors were allowed much more space to operate than they had been earlier in the series. And I expected, because we talked about it, without Draymond Green, he was not going to be facilitating the offense. So I expected the Kings to put a lot more pressure on the ball. I thought their on-ball impact wasn't as good as it has been. So defensively, to me, that's where it really began. And I thought the Kings could have been much more physical than they were last night defensively, and they could have caused some issues for Steph Curry. Steph was kind of allowed to move around way too often for my liking.
There was a few times last night, Nick, where I was watching and it felt like the Kings were thinking what we were thinking heading into the series.
Yes.
That the referees were going to tighten things up, and they didn't even want to test those limits. You know what? I feel like, especially in the playoffs, you almost have to test those limits, especially early on, and see what the referees are going to let you get away with. And like you said, they've been the more physical team. They've tested the limits more often than the Warriors have to this point, to a degree that you had JJ Redick damn near in tears talking about how physical the Kings were playing in the first two games of this series. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they at no point in yesterday's game tested those limits or looked like the more physical of the two teams.
Not at all.
At all. And maybe it was just that they were thinking what we were thinking, that, hey, after what happened, and especially Domas being, one of the guys directly involved in that, and the Warriors putting out the statement that somebody in the Warriors, we don't know who, somebody in the Warriors saying that he's been using the basketball as a weapon. Like they probably thought, given the history of the NBA playoffs, and a perfect example, the Phoenix Suns. Monty Williams, after game 2 of that series, he complains about how many free throws the Clippers got and everything else. And then the following game, I think they shot 46 free throws in last night's game. That's been, and he got a $20,000 fine for it, but worth every penny if you work the refs. You know what I mean? Throughout history, coaches and organizations work the refs like that by either going to a podium and saying something or putting out anonymous comments like Domas uses the ball as a weapon.
Yep.
And it's effective.
Yeah.
And maybe the Kings assumed it was going to be effective and didn't even want to test the refs and how long a leash they had last night in that game.
And that was frustrating. It was frustrating to watch because it wasn't like the Warriors had a number of guys that are physical players. Look, Looney's going to be physical, but really nobody else. Steph Curry's not physical.
Mm-hmm.
Clay's not overly physical. Wiggins will give you some physicality, but guys like Moses Moody out there, nobody's touching him. Nobody's putting a body on him. He's launching threes wide open from the corner. Last night was a golden opportunity, no pun intended, to go after the Warriors physically. Their most physically imposing guy other than Looney is Draymond Green, and he was not going to be in that game last night. That was the perfect game last night. If you were going to go overtly physical, it was last night's game. It was to bludgeon them. And the Kings did the exact opposite. And it was strange, and it didn't work. I mean, they were -2 in the paint last night. It's ridiculous. They got pushed around on the glass, giving up 18 offensive rebounds. Nobody wanted to bump anybody. Nobody wanted to put a body on anybody. When that ball's going up to the rim, man, find a body and put your body on that body and box them out. And it was just too much free space, and too many Warriors were running around picking up loose balls, picking up offensive rebounds, trotting into the front court, getting open shot. It was just too much. It was too much. And I can't imagine that the Kings just woke up yesterday morning and said, we're going to play differently. I believe that some of that narrative got to them, and they were concerned. Here was Coach Brown last night talking about it.
They came home and they upped the level of physicality. They were the more physical team tonight on both ends of the floor. It resulted in 22 points off our turnovers and 24 points off their offensive rebounds. You know, we couldn't do anything with Loon tonight. Even Dante DiVincenzo rebounding from the perimeter. I mean, he was really, really good for them. And those two guys, you know, Loon with 9 offensive rebounds, Dante with 4 offensive rebounds, and then you had a couple other guys get 2 and 1. You know, that plus the points off our turnovers were the biggest difference in the game. You know, you think you're playing the Warriors and they shoot 40% from the field and 32% from the three. I think you have a chance to win, but when you don't bring it in those areas like they did tonight, especially with their championship pedigree, it's going to be tough to win.
On Sunday, the Kings have to punch first. They got to come out punching first. Take the fight to the Warriors just like you did in game 1 and 2.
That place is going to be fired up.
Oh, yeah. Draymond back. Very emotional game on Sunday. And you better ramp up that physicality.
We've talked about how the Kings have experienced playoff atmosphere to this point in various games, and obviously now they've played 3 actual playoff games. That's going to be as intense, as hot an atmosphere as they've been in, I think, all season long, with Draymond coming back and that Golden State crowd ready on a Sunday evening.
All right, let's get to your thoughts. 916-339-1140 is the text line. Hit us up there. You can also give us a phone call. Phone lines are open for you, 1-800-920-1140. youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Any thoughts about last night's game? Any thoughts heading into the weekend now? You're still up 2-1 in the series. I'm not panicked. Ramie's not panicked. But we want to gauge where you're at.
Baby Yoda's chilling.
Baby Yoda's cool. 916-339-1140. We'll get to some of your reaction. Also, if you think Keegan's struggling just because he's a rookie, I disagree, and I'll tell you why in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs that will significantly reduce the amount you owe if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief has helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. For this free information, call 800-458-8822. 800-458-8822.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop. What a
got to give it to Papa. But your body gotta be the body Papa.
What I got, you got to give it to your papa. What I got, you got to give it to your doctor. You do a little dancing and you drink a little water. What I got, you got to get it, put it in you.
Happy Friday, everybody.
That was the first musical genius that the Cattles and Ramie show has given you.
Yeah.
Yesterday there was more where that came from.
Yes.
Have we gotten that out to the clubs yet? We got to get that out to the clubs.
Not yet.
Made an absolute banger. Live
Friday,
on the air
though.
yesterday.
So we should all just take a second to appreciate Ramie's agenda today. Ramie's dying for us to play the pace,
This just reminded me of it. This just reminded me of it. And aren't you dying to play it?
Each hour, he's going to throw something out there.
I would love to. Yeah,
to get
I
it,
think we should
get
play it
played.
once an hour.
I don't know.
Personally.
I don't know if it's the time to play it right now.
I mean, I'm
maybe
not
as we
saying
get
right
ready
now.
for Game 4. Maybe later on.
I wasn't saying right now. I was just pointing out that this show is racking up bangers.
Is that what we're doing?
Pretty soon we're going to be able to put together
Watch out.
a whole mixtape.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that puts pressure on us now. Now we gotta think about the next banger to release.
Then maybe follow that up with a Christmas album. I don't know.
TCG says we need a Ramie Simone karaoke sing-off.
Aww.
Hey, listen, there's been talk. There's been talk about us maybe going out together, maybe doing some of that.
Karaoke outing. I've never done a private karaoke room.
Maybe a little bus
they're
action.
so fun.
I've done that.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
There's a karaoke place that opened up next to my bar in Virginia Beach. We went there one night.
Really?
Yeah. Very expensive, though. At least this place was.
For me, I like the crowd. I like working the crowd.
No. Who would ever guess that?
I'm a great hype man on karaoke night. Great hype man.
Sure you are. Great at a lot of things, Ramie. First round playoff coverage on Sactown Sports is brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. Mr. All Red Everything says the first play on Sunday needs to be straight to the rim and through Draymond's chest. I'd love it.
Okay.
I'd love it. They'll probably call an offensive foul, but I'd love it.
When you started that sentence, I thought it was going to be one of those. The first play should be you go out there and punch a guy, set the tone.
No.
You do get those every once in a while doing what we do.
We're not calling for violence.
Yeah, basketball play.
Yeah.
Physical basketball play is what we're looking for.
All right, before we get to more of some of your reaction on the phones, I did want to talk about Keegan here for a couple minutes. Look, he's been awful. He's been bad. And, last night he wasn't good. 6 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 2 of 7 from the floor. 3 of those 6 points were in garbage time. He knocked down that late 3 when the Kings had already, thrown up the white flag. He got 3 fouls last night in like the first 6 minutes of the game. He hasn't been good offensively. He hasn't been good defensively. In this series, he's averaging 3 points a game and 4 rebounds. And he's just been, like the rest of the team, he's been bad from the floor. He's shooting 23% from the floor. He's shooting 12.5% from 3. Again, defensively, he hasn't been able to get out of his own way. He just has not been good.
Curry was looking for him last night.
Yeah,
defensively.
They're hunting him.
Yeah.
Here was Coach Brown last night on the rookie.
Well, not many rookies are starting for, a playoff team and playing a significant role like he is. So, this is great for him to go through. We want him to stay aggressive. We want him to keep shooting the ball. We feel like he's getting some pretty good looks. They're just not going in, but I think they will go in. That's why we want him to keep shooting it and then try to play defense the right way and see if he can get out and get some easies in transition. So this is just really new for a lot of our guys. But this is really new for him, and we love him. We're gonna have patience with him, and we're gonna give him a chance to succeed. But he's got to go through these growing pains in order to figure it out.
Couple quick things, okay? Cattles and Ramie here on a Friday. Nobody overreact. I'm not telling you Keegan's not a good player. I'm not telling you Keegan's not going to be better as he learns more. There's no doubt, Ramie, he's a rookie. He's going through this the first time. But I don't want to excuse everything due to him being a rookie. I think that is a disservice to Keegan Murray. We've got to look at this the way it is. Keegan is not a very physical player. He's just not a very physical guy. And he might acquire that. He might develop that at some point, but he's not overly physical. So when you play in the postseason, things, as we said, I've said this throughout the regular season, I'm saying it now, As you get to the postseason, things get more physical. Until Keegan becomes more comfortable with physicality, you're going to have some struggles, okay? Secondly, you and I have talked about this, Ramie. He's not a shot creator. He's not a strong ISO player.
Mm-hmm.
So, when teams are defending the DHOs and teams are kind of attacking Domas and stuff like that, and your offense isn't moving as freely as it usually does. And look, he's missed some open shots. There's no doubt. Everybody's missed open shots in the Kings. They make shots, they'll be much better. But he's not an ISO guy. He doesn't create a lot of his own shots. He's not a very physical player. So when you're in the playoffs and people are playing physical against you and you're not the best at taking them off the dribble, you have to rely on everything else working for you to be super productive. And it's not happening right now. And unfortunately for Keegan, because he's a rookie, he's being matched up against guys that have been there and done that. He's facing experience. He's also facing some guys that are athletic. And he's not the most athletic guy. So I said it before the series, these matchups are tough for him against Golden State. And I said on the record last week, I would not be surprised if he averaged under 10 points a game. Again, yes, it's part of the learning curve, but I just don't want to make it that easy and say, oh, well, he's a rookie, so that's what. No, there are things that do not lend themselves well at this point in his career to be a very good postseason player. He's got to figure some of it out for sure.
And I think it's snowballing on him now, Nick.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He's indecisive.
He's indecisive. He's not confident in what's going on now. Domas was mic'd up yesterday and went over to him and was like, hey, smile. Like it's fine. And I think that was Domas recognizing that this is a rookie who has played a big role for his team all season long, and now here in the playoffs has not been able to fill that role. And I think it's starting to weigh on him, and his confidence is waning. And you know as well as I do, Nick, in the world, I always say in the world of sports, there are two things where confidence matters most. One is when you step in a batter's box in Major League Baseball, and the other is when that ball leaves your fingers in the NBA, and you're hoping that it goes through the net. And his confidence, I think, right now is just shot.
Yeah.
And it's snowballing on him. But I also don't think that you can go away from him. And I love what Mike Brown is saying, not only because I don't think you're going to beat the Warriors or go very far in the playoffs if you can't get some production from Keegan Murray, but what I've been saying all year is this is just a beginning. This is just the first step in the Mike Brown era and building a foundation for sustained success. And like Mike Brown said, you got to let him go through these growing pains so that even if it doesn't pay off this year, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, having gone through this is going to make him that much better and that much more prepared for these situations when they come up again.
I do think if you get to game 6 and you're down 3-2, you might think about it. If you get to a game 7, you might think about it. Because if he's still rattled by game 7, I don't want him playing in game 7. I don't want him necessarily starting game 7 if he's looking like this. But it also brings up the point I made earlier when KD called us. You don't have a lot of options.
Yep.
And that's why I was disappointed at the trade deadline that the Kings were not able to acquire a backup big and also somebody who could be a backup 3-and-D wing, because you were banking on a rookie. You were banking on a rookie that would have to give you at least 20, 25 minutes. And so you don't really have anybody else that you can go to play the 3 right now that you would trust and say, that guy's going to knock down some shots. That guy's been here before. That guy's going to defend. Kessler Edwards has even less experience. I mean, I know he's been in the league more than Keegan, but I mean, he's not that guy. So not getting that veteran wing at the deadline, this is when it comes back to haunt you a little bit. Doesn't mean you're going to lose the series. Doesn't mean you can't make a deep run. It's just you would like to have that option. Let's go to George. George is up next. What's up, George?
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking my call.
Thanks for calling. Hello, George.
Yeah. I'm here. I just wanted to say that I was thinking about this game for a little while, and I was thinking one of the ways for us to win this game is to continue on attacking the basket and put Looney in trouble. The problem is they kept on shooting threes, and the coach did not help the situation any. So he never really advised his players, even in the second half, to continue on attacking the basket and put Looney out of the way, which he looked like the best rebounder that's ever built. He got you 20 rebounds, and just they didn't really help themselves. So not attacking the basket and relying on threes, it is one of the reasons why they lost the game.
George, thanks for the phone call. Thanks for listening. We talked about it in the first hour. I agree with you. I know the numbers tell you they had a lot of wide open threes, and I don't disagree with that. They missed a lot of good looks early in this game. But I thought that, instead of trying to diversify their portfolio offensively in the first half, they just kept shooting. And their obvious thought was, we're going to shoot ourselves out of this. We'll finally start making some shots. But meanwhile, the Warriors were getting buckets and you were getting down. In the first two games, that wasn't the case. The first two games, yeah, you missed a lot of threes. You haven't shot well all series long. But in the first two games, you did go at the bucket. You did attack more. You did try to do different things, and you changed your offense a little bit, and you crushed them inside the paint. And so last night, that wasn't the case. You had like 38 paint points, which is just, Yeah,
that was a bit confusing to me. That was a bit confounding to me that they weren't even trying to get the paint points. But maybe that goes back to what we talked about at the top of the hour, that they let all the chatter of the Draymond Green situation get in their heads and thought officiating was going to be tight.
I also thought the small ball impacted them, which we'll get to a little bit later. I think that also caused some issues. We'll continue with your reaction. Also, a Kings Warriors edition of On the Records coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. The Sacramento Kings lost their first postseason game Thursday night in San Francisco.
Well, the Sacramento Kings have not won a playoff game on the road since 2004. They have now lost 10 consecutive playoff games since that time.
The Kings look to get a split in San Francisco Sunday during Game 4 and close out the series Wednesday in Sacramento. Our coverage begins Sunday morning with game night at 11 a.m., followed by tip at 12:30 on Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports first round coverage is brought to you by
National Garage Door. Quality doors, quality people.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Friday forecast looking great with mainly sunny skies, a bit of a northwest breeze through the afternoon. Temperatures much warmer than yesterday with highs in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Elk Grove Honda, we'd like to help you purchase your next new Honda. Right now at Elk Grove Honda, new Hondas are arriving on a regular basis, including the newly designed CR-V, new design Accords, exciting Civics, and much more. And Elk Grove Honda's pre-owned inventory offers choices there as well. So give Elk Grove Honda a chance to show you the new or pre-owned Honda you're looking for. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard, or visit us at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metal woods to wedges, Visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Hey, basketball fans, the playoffs are here and Sacramento's ready to win it all. And while you're cheering them on, you're going to want a nice, cool home to watch those games in. That's why you should call Fox Family Heating and Air for all of your air conditioning repair needs. With our amazing technicians and lifetime warranty on most repairs, we'll make sure that your home stays cool and comfortable for the playoffs. So come on, beat the buzzer and call Fox Family Heating and Air today.
Fox Family Heating and Air.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metalwoods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back May 5th and 6th at Cal Expo, starring Lady A,
Chris Young,
Brett Eldridge,
and so many more.
plus a Boots Boot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, Hanley's Western Wear, and Quick Pack Car Wash.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the Front I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Let's get on the record right now with Cattles and Ramie.
Some things just need to be recorded. And we aren't talking about on TikTok. We're talking about predictions and guarantees.
It's on the record.
But off the record, I can't stand those.
All right, let's get to it. A Warriors-Kings edition of On the Record this week as we get ready for Game 4 on Sunday. I'll start off. But before I do that, do we have the numbers?
You don't want anybody to steal. You have a hot prediction that you don't want anyone to steal.
I'll start off.
Okay, all right.
We've been working hard back here to calculate everything.
Nice.
So we have, this is Ramie here at the top, averaging about 289 with 8 runs.
289.
Yeah. Nick coming up with 238 with 6 runs
I'm
on
climbing.
the board.
I'm climbing.
We got Jay coming in with a nice solid 314 with 5 runs. And Simone, the rookie,
averaging 571 with 3
Small
runs.
sample
on board.
size. Yeah, small sample size. Get some more
I got
at-bats.
both of you guys just shot that down.
Get some more at-bats, Brooke. All right?
We've been doing this. We've been doing this for like a year now. Okay?
Yes, I know.
All right, so here's the first one I got for you. By the way, I did find this interesting. Trey Lyles, speaking to the media, just said that he thought that the Kings were lackadaisical last night and that it can't happen again. I would agree with his assessment.
Yes.
Lackadaisical, lack of urgency, lack of energy, lack of physicality, just kind of there, enjoying the scene and not necessarily playing. Here's my first one. I'll say Kevin Huerter.
Oh, don't do it.
Kevin Huerter scores more than he scores 20 or more on Sunday in Game 4. Kevin Huerter will score at least 20 points on Sunday.
Okay. That's not quite my Kevin Huerter prediction. I'm going to go next before somebody takes my Kevin Huerter prediction.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Wait, we have to grade it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm
gonna go triple the way he's struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't scored. I'm looking at this. Go back to March 29th. His highest scoring game was 17 points. So,
okay.
I'll give you a triple then.
Yeah, that's a triple.
Thank you. I'll take it.
I also had a Kevin Huerter prediction queued up. Like I said, not quite the same. He'll hit at least 5 3-pointers
Tasty.
in Game 4.
Huerter will hit at
least
five
5 3-pointers.
That's a home run
for Kevin Huerter.
That's a lot of threes.
All right. He's busting out of this thing in a big way. Promise you.
All right. Who's next?
Manifesting.
I'll go ahead. I am foreseeing a high-scoring game on Sunday. Give me the Kings scoring over 120 points, please.
Yeah, one of my on the records was going to be total points, but I did not do that. I went against it. So over 120 for the Kings on Sunday.
For the Kings on Sunday.
See,
I'll say double because I think they're due.
Really? Okay.
I was going to say
they gotta make shots at some point, don't they?
Again, citing sample size. Again, citing sample
Before
size.
November.
The larger sample size says that's not that bold a prediction,
That's
but
true.
from what we've seen in the playoffs, it's kind of a bold prediction. So I land right in the middle of those, right where Nick is, and say it's a double.
All right. Well, I'm outsourced, so I'll go here and say that Malik Monk will score 30 points.
Woo!
One more 30-point game by the end of the series.
Damn.
I'll say a home run. It's pretty tough to drop 30 off the bench in the playoffs.
But by the end of the series, he's giving him.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll say it's a
I'm
home
taking
run.
my 3
Somewhere
games
between
here,
2
Ramie.
and 4 more
3,
games.
4 more games there.
Yeah, that's probably. Yeah, I guess that's still a home run, even if it is 4 games. For that guy to come in and drop 30 again, yeah, it's probably a home run. Okay, I'll give you a home
All right, we have one more left with all of us here. I'm gonna go for the tougher one. Domantas Sabonis will have his first triple-double of the series on Sunday.
Oh,
Love to hear it.
Domas with his first triple-double of the series on Sunday.
I think he's got to get one in the series, so I'm going to say a triple.
Speak on it, Ramie. Speak on it.
I was gonna say double.
Triple double in a postseason.
Yeah, I mean, Domas, he was getting triple doubles almost routinely during the regular season, and he's almost due for one at this. I'll go with Jay though and say it's a triple.
Yeah, I was going to go triple too.
All right, I'll take the triple. I got 2 triples on the board.
You thought it was a home run? You thought you had a home run with that one?
His assist numbers are really low this series. All right, yeah, Ramie.
Kings win by at least 8 points on Sunday.
Home run.
Oof.
Not that I don't
8
think they could
points.
win. 8 points is pretty healthy.
That spread, yeah.
Kings win by 8.
All right.
Yeah, that's a home run.
Home run.
Homer.
Thank you.
Simone.
Take it.
Wow. Give me, I know he hasn't been playing very many minutes. Give me Kessler Edwards.
Home run.
Home run. Yeah, it's all right.
Grand slam.
Whatever you're going to figure, whatever the rest of that sentence is.
It's a home run.
It's a home run.
Stop it.
Good job.
The rest of the, no.
Bold.
He's gonna get some play. Let's do Sunday and give me 12 points for Kessler.
12 points.
Grand
home
slam.
run. Yeah, that's
Grand slam. Hall of Fame on the record right there.
That's the whole home run derby. You just won the whole home run
We
derby
just
with
gotta
that
switch
one.
up, you know?
Okay, 12 points for
We're
Kessler.
plugging him in. Yeah, I
Man.
have a weird feeling.
Simone might have started her Friday a little bit early back there.
You ain't lying, Nick.
Yeah, for real.
I'm gonna keep her up
Celebrate
right.
the holiday yesterday?
I'm going Keegan Murray will have double-digit points and 3 3-pointers on Sunday.
Double-digit points and 3 through the way he's played this series. That's a home run.
I'll go triple.
Simone, it's up to you.
I know. I hate to do this.
I'll go triple.
I think I'm going to go triple too. I feel like they're going to unlock something with the kid. I
There you
just
go.
know that Coach Mike is running something with them this weekend. We're going to get it together.
All right.
All right, there you have it. On the record, Warriors Kings edition.
She's had 12 points for Kessler Edwards, right?
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just checked it.
Just starting
you
the
did not
weekend early.
dream that.
I just wanted to make sure. You know.
That was set in reality. All right,
Make it happen.
we'll continue with your Kings thoughts.
Happen.
Also, does the NBA have a flagrant foul problem? We'll discuss it next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
Monty making Mitch. I almost have as much faith in Simone coming off the bench for the Kings than Kessler Edwards.
I make no apologies.
Maybe you should.
I like that. Maybe you should. Does the NBA have a flagrant foul problem? We'll get to that in a minute. Cam Kalanta, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Make sure you give us that thumbs up. Not as many people watching today. It's a Friday. The weather's beautiful, and the Kings lost last night, which all probably results in a few less people watching. But for those watching, we appreciate every single one of you, and a nice thumbs up would be great. I'll try to get to 50 likes, I would say, over the next 15, 20 minutes. If we could do that, we feel really good about the effort today so far. But back on the YouTube chat, Cam says, we're playing with house money. Nobody expected this, to be honest, so I'm fine with the results. I'm interested to see, I wonder how many people feel that way, like Cam. You were just up 2-0 in the series.
I don't think you can feel that way right now. We had the discussion coming into the playoffs of whether or not you felt like they were playing house money. Maybe after, however it is that this thing ends, if it's not with holding up the LOB trophy, maybe then we can talk about house money and feeling good about the season. Right now, in the middle of the series, I can't look at it that way. I can't feel that way.
I mean, let's put perspective on this. You were up 2-0. If you lose this series, it means the Warriors beat you 4 out of 5 games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's going to take.
That wouldn't feel good.
Wouldn't feel good at all.
To say you lost 4 out of your last 5 games?
But once the pain wears off of that, then maybe we can step back and go, hey, great season. You're playing with house money.
And it's like gravy. It's like what we talked about yesterday too, Ramie. Like if Curry, he still hasn't had the out-of-body experience. I almost want him to have it like tomorrow. Get it out of his system early. I'm just kind of waiting for that Steph Curry 8 for 12 from 3, 9 of 13, where he's just drilling like 30-footers all night long. Like,
can you imagine how unbearable it would be if he does that?
I went through it last year in the finals.
He was obnoxious last night.
It hurts.
And he wasn't even that good.
It hurts. All right, we'll get back to the Kings.
Put your mouthpiece in your mouth, bro.
He won't. He just won't. We'll get back to the Kings at 4 o'clock. I want to talk about Domas and how he has to be better moving forward. We'll do that at 4 o'clock. But the rest of the NBA, really just talking about what happened at Philadelphia, Brooklyn during that game last night. It's kind of weird, man. Joel Embiid, first of all, he flops to the floor. So Joel flops. Nick Claxton goes to step over him, and as Claxton is stepping over him, Joel Embiid tries to kick him in the jump. Try to unleash a kick to the ding-ding. And he didn't make contact, fortunately for Nick Claxton. So that ended up in a flagrant one. So Joel gets a flagrant 1 foul for trying to kick a dude in the groin, okay? Then later in the game, you have James Harden, who is, making a move off the dribble, and he gives a, let's call it, backhand to Royce O'Neal's junk.
His ding-ding.
Who is defending Harden at the time. Harden ends up getting a flagrant 2 and gets tossed. So Embiid, who tries to kick a dude in the groin, flagrant 1. Harden making a move off the dribble and making contact with Royce O'Neal's nether region, gets a flagrant 2 and gets tossed. Here was James Harden in the postgame.
When somebody's draped on you like that defensively, it's just a natural basketball reaction. And I didn't hit him hard enough for him to fall down like that. But for a flagrant 2, it's unacceptable. Like, this is a playoff game. You've seen around the league things that are much more worse than what that play was. Honestly, I don't even think it was a foul on me. But that's unacceptable. That can't happen, bro.
Before we move forward here, you don't think it was a foul?
It was a foul.
That's ridiculous.
It was definitely a foul. And it was intentional. I would say it was intentional.
You can't backhand a dude in the junk. Okay.
Or as I heard a smart man once call it, the ding-ding.
The ding-ding.
Yes.
And he backhanded him in the ding-ding. Yeah. It's all about the delivery. Of course, Stephen A. Smith was upset about this. Here's Stephen A.
Big perk.
I completely agree with you. That might be the worst ejection I've ever seen in NBA history. It's crazy. A legitimate argument can be made it wasn't even a foul. But if you called them for the foul, okay, that's fine. Offensive foul. It's not a flagrant one. It's not even a flagrant one. He was trying to create some space. I'm not sure he hit him in the lower extremities. I didn't see that.
You didn't see
I'm
it?
like, what's going on here? And Tony Brothers is one of the top refs. I think he was recently voted the top ref in the game. You're on the court last night. How do you let that happen? How does that call stand? Even the Brooklyn Nets know James Harden shouldn't have been ejected. Even the Nets know. They're still salty about Embiid not being ejected because clearly Embiid should have been ejected. No doubt about it. But Harden, it's debatable if that was even a foul.
No, it's not. It's not debatable.
I didn't think it was a flagrant 2, though.
It's a foul.
It's a foul. That was a foul. I didn't think it was a flagrant 2 by any means.
And it's just so typical Stephen A. Like, he takes the step and then he's going to take the leap.
The next step, yeah.
Like, oh, that wasn't even a foul. I didn't even see him make contact. What? Did you not watch the play? Did you not see the replay, Stephen A?
Yeah.
By the way, are you tired of him, Stephen A?
Stephen A,
has his act worn thin on you yet? Or are you still entertained?
Because I know what it is. It's pro wrestling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got a good word.
He's an entertainer. That's what it comes down to. He's got a lot of sources and a lot of insight. I'm not saying he doesn't. But at the end of the day, the man is there to entertain. And often he delivers. Great delivery. He's got great delivery. As a media personality, there are plenty of things about Stephen A. that I can appreciate.
He does have great delivery.
Yes.
But what he just said was crap.
It's crazy. I don't have to agree with everything you say.
I hope you disagree with the majority
by
of things that he says, because most of them are nonsense. I do give him points, though, for presentation. I'll always do that for Stephen A.
Yes.
Presentation.
Yes, for
I
sure.
love when he starts something with like the low voice.
Yes.
Because he knows he's going to crank it up. It's all about where he's going to go.
I love when he starts
Let me tell
off
you, Perk.
with the low voice and cushioning it. Like LeBron James is a very good friend of mine.
I'll tell you.
Let me start right there.
Yeah.
But last night.
Yeah. then it goes like.
But last night.
From like 10 to 80 quickly.
That was perfect.
So Stephen A. was is beside himself over that call. Meanwhile, Philly won, so that's good for them.
Yes.
And
Joel Embiid not impressive in this series though.
No,
at all.
Well, they're just taking the ball out of his hands and doubling him constantly. So meanwhile, you had the other series in the West, and that's Phoenix and the Clippers. And of course, the Clippers did not have Kawhi, knee sprain. They don't have Paul George, but Phoenix barely survived. Booker scored 45. CP3 was god freaking awful last night. He was terrible. Norm Powell dropped 42. Norman Powell.
Who?
Yeah, Norman Powell dropped 42 points last night.
All right.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. Russell Westbrook went for 30, 12, and 8. So Russ did some work. But eventually it was not enough. And the Phoenix Suns walk away with the dub. And now they have home court advantage.
But barely with the dub against the Clippers without Kawhi and PG-13.
Yes.
Not impressed.
As I said, they survived.
Not impressed.
They survived. All right, we got to get back to the Kings.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We got to talk about one of their all-stars, because the Kings, they need one of their all-stars, Ramie, to actually play like an all-star.
Be nice.
Talk about it coming up.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco. Sports
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the fraught I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your headlines. Welcome back into Cattles and Ramie.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and more.
This is Cattles and Ramie
on Sactown Sports.
One of your favorite songs, right?
I do like this one a lot. Okay. Hour number 3 on a Friday. Hopefully many of you have plans this weekend. It's going to be nice outside. Ramie has plans.
All sorts of plans.
Conveniently picked times to have those plans where JJ and I can have plans
no matter
with
what I do. No matter what I do, I just can't come out the good guy. It's all right.
Let's start
I'll be the
this
bad guy.
Let's start this hour with
Okay.
Okay, man.
You guys know your terrible Al Pacino, so you want to you do the Stephen A impersonation and people give you credit on the YouTube, and now you're going to just push it for Al Pacino?
Me and my brother will just, if we get around each other and get rolling with Scarface, it'll go all day where we just talk to each other in Scarface accents.
Guys must be a lot of fun to hang out with. Let's start this third hour with Domas. So last night, Sabonis had 15, 16, and 4. Shot 7 of 14 from the field. He shot 1 putrid 3. Barely grazed the rim. It was late, so I didn't hate it that much. And when you look at Domas here in this series, Sam Amick wrote about him today in The Athletic. And here's what some of Sam wrote. Through 3 games, Domantas, who averaged a career-high 7.3 assists per game this season, has just 10 assists in all. For further context, consider this much. From February 14th until the end of the regular season, Sabonis averaged 8 assists and had 4 or fewer in just 4 of the 25 games. He has yet to eclipse that mark in this series. In Game 3, Sabonis finished with a minus 20. Oof. But the more telling stat is this. He has more turnovers, 13. He had 6 turnovers last night. Than he has assists in this series. Here was Coach Brown last night talking about Domas.
No, so they're doing a great job again with their physicality. We love, everybody knows we play the DHO game, and they're doing a great job of getting into our bodies and blowing up the DHO game, and so that's why the assists aren't there. You know, if there's anything that Domas has to do is when he gets in the paint, sometimes he plays off of 1 foot or he jumps in the air, and they're playing him one-on-one. You know, and so he's got to either finish at the rim or he's got to come to a jump stop and think spray if possible, because it looks like somebody's open because they're looking like they're coming to help, but at the last second they're just like, screw it, I'm gonna stay out on the shooter and let Domas try to make a play because they know that he's a very good passer.
Now, Ramie, I'm not overly concerned by the assists because, as we've talked about all day today, the Kings just haven't made shots. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough for Domas to rack up assists when the Kings are shooting 27.3% from three-point land.
Right.
So I'm not overly concerned by the lack of assists by Sabonis. But what are your thoughts about how he's been in this series so far?
You need him to be better. You're not going to win this series if Domas doesn't play better. I mean, he's 2 of the 3 games, Nick. He has been below Domas expectations and what we've come to expect from him over the course of this season.
Yes.
And Two thoughts come to mind. One, we've talked about the E word, the lack of experience with playoff experience with this basketball team. And people will point to Domas as one of the few guys on this team who's been to the playoffs, but he's never had this role for a playoff team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Where you're the centerpiece and you're the guy that makes things go and the offense runs through you. You know what I mean? And you're one of the big two when it comes to your basketball team and your chances of winning a playoff series. He's never been in that situation. So maybe that's one of the places where we're seeing the E word actually play a role in the lack of experience for this Kings team, actually play a role when it comes to Domas and maybe feeling the pressure of that, of being that guy for a playoff team and not just being a guy on a playoff team. The second thought I had, and I wish I could remember when it was, and I would have just asked JJ to go and pull the soundbite. Defenses were doing the same thing to Domas earlier this year. And Mike Brown pointed it out in the media. And again, I can't remember the exact point in the season. I can't remember the exact game, but Domas just came out and attacked the rim and wasn't the facilitator for a game or two, was just aggressive and attacking the rim and making teams remember that, hey, I have that in my arsenal too. Like, I'm not just a passing big man. Like, if you sag off me and if you don't commit to me down here, I will take advantage and I will impose my will on you. We haven't seen him do that yet in this series. If the Warriors are going to keep on running out to protect against a spray, as Mike Brown calls it, then Domas has to be more assertive and more aggressive in attacking the rim. And back to something we talked about earlier in the show, be more physical. Domas himself said they were the less physical team yesterday. You have to make them remember that he's not just a passing big man, that he's somebody who can do some damage down there. And quite frankly, all due respect to Looney and Draymond Green, they shouldn't be able to stop Domas. He's one of the best big men in this league.
Yeah.
And sometimes guys just need to remember that and impose their will on the opponent. And I think we might be at that point in this series where Domas needs to do just that. Just take a different tactic, be a little more aggressive, a little more assertive, a little more physical, and impose his will down low against this Warriors team.
We talked about earlier in the show Keegan and how he's looked a little hesitant. He's looked a little indecisive. And you can understand that, being that Keegan's a rookie and this is his first playoff series. When I watch Domas so far in this series, when he is decisive, he is so much better. In game 2, he was decisive. I mean, I remember a particular possession when Domas got the rock early in that game, and he just decided as soon as he caught the basketball, I am going to go through Looney. I am going to go through him. I am going to attack the bucket. And he scored. Last night in the second half, he had one possession. He did the same thing. He caught it, did not think about it, went right to the bucket and scored on Looney. It's the indecisiveness to me that is getting the best of Sabonis in this series so far, in games 1 and last night. He has a lack of aggressiveness versus the deep drop. Like, you have to make your decision, okay? If you're going to run your offense, and that's another question that we probably should ask at some point here is, how much of this offense are you going to run now if you're Coach Brown? Are you going to start just running pick and roll and have Sabonis also go down inside the paint and just say, hey, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to try to do as many DHOs or have you at the free throw line extended. We're going to push you down further towards the bucket. We're going to run more pick and roll with our athletic guards. But against the deep drop, it's like, Domas, you got two choices, right? If you want to score, you're either shooting that 15-footer and just being aggressive with that 15-foot jump shot, which he can make, or you're taking like one power dribble and trying to get through the chest. It's like Domas catches it. There's a moment of hesitancy. Then there's one dribble. Then there's two dribbles. Like we've talked about, the more dribbles, the worse. Hands get busy around him. That's when he gets into the turnover trouble. One power dribble and go. One power dribble and go. Get the basketball at the free throw line. If Looney is, dropping 5 feet off you, pull up from 15. Knock down a couple of those shots, and guess what? Looney could no longer just sag underneath. So this catch the ball and try to figure it out as you go is not working. And that indecisiveness, I think, is why you see the Domas kind of 2-3 dribbles. Then he gets under the bucket and he tries these pump fakes. And I'll give Looney credit. He's not buying on the pump fakes. He tries those pump fakes.
You think he's not buying, or he just can't jump over a deck of cards?
Well, yeah, he's got absolutely zero athleticism. But so I think there's a few things. There's the indecisiveness. There's the lack of aggressiveness when Looney is deploying, I'm going to lay off of you. There's also, I thought last night, for the first time in the series, a lack of physicality from Domas. I did not think he was as physical last night as he can be. The other thing is, man, if you're not scoring, right, if you're not going to score, you can't allow Looney to get loose. Now, some of this was team defense and some of this was, good team rebounding and all that stuff, but you can't allow Looney to have 20 rebounds. Looney cannot get 20 rebounds. You were the best rebounder in the NBA this year if you're Domas. You can't let the guy who's playing against you get 20 freaking rebounds.
Yep.
You can't let him get 9 offensive rebounds. It may be even worse. I don't know how many people realize this. I realized it this morning when I was looking up the stats. Did you know that Kevon Looney had 9 assists last night?
I did not know that.
Looney had 9 assists.
They did say, I didn't remember the exact number, but they did say during the broadcast yesterday that he had a career high in assists.
So the 20
Not a playoff career high, just a career high.
The 20 rebounds, Ramie, the 9 offensive rebounds, the 9 assists.
You know who that sounds like?
Kind of sounds like the guy you want Domas to be.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I said, which was my major takeaway from last night. The Warriors were the more desperate team, and there was a lack of urgency and physicality from the Kings. And it starts with DeMontis. When Looney's getting 20 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds, and 9 assists, you're detached from your man. You're not playing up in his space. You're not making it tough for him. He's roaming around, grabbing rebounds, and he's able to find teammates because he's not getting any pressure on him. There's no ball pressure. There's no pressure on Looney. If he has 9 assists, it's because you're not suffocating him enough. You're not physical enough. Looney had 1 foul last night. 1. Again, lack of physicality from Domas. You have to force him to commit fouls on you.
Yep.
You have to play him tighter defensively to maybe force an offensive foul from time to time.
Put the pressure on him.
All of those statistics tell you they just did not clamp down on Looney, and that starts with Domas. If Looney's going to grab 20 rebounds and 9 offensive rebounds and have 9 assists, Warriors are winning the series.
Yes.
You can't have a game when you walk out and say Looney was better than Domas. That can't happen. Domas is an all-star, especially on the road. When you're on the road,
some say all NBA. He should be all NBA. When you can't be getting outplayed by Looney when you're all NBA.
When you're on the road, you need your all-stars to be all-stars. So I trust Sabonis will be much better on Sunday. I think the beginning of the battle is between the ears and understanding I have to attack this dude. I got to be physical. I've got to impose my will onto him. Because last night it was the other way around. And that's a big part of why you got in trouble. All right, we want your thoughts on last night's game. Also, this series as we head into Game 4 on Sunday. Thoughts on Domas and what he's looked like in this series. 916-339-1140 is the text line. The phone number is 1-800-920-1140. You can check us out on YouTube, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Also want to remind you that all of this playoff coverage that we're giving to you here on Sactown Sports is brought to you by National Garage Door. National Garage Door, quality doors, quality people. We'll get to your reaction. Also coming up, why did the Kings have a small ball problem last night? The autopsy in 90 seconds.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown!
Fantastic meeting Cole G out at Doko yesterday.
Fun.
I thought for sure that the Kings looked like a team that let the narrative get to them. All the media stuff. Oh, they're playing dirty. They're too physical. They're over the top. The referees are not allowing the Warriors to play their game. Yada yada yada. Cole G jumps in and says, pretty much feels the same way. The Warriors organization and the fans' cry pain to the media definitely affected Sabonis. Hopefully, he is over it Sunday. I thought that to use a word TCG used, I thought he was tentative last night. And I think it did have to do with the Green thing and, all of these people in the media and on Twitter and stuff, firing off these videos of, oh, Domas did this, Domas did that. And I thought Domas kind of went in thinking what I was thinking going into that game. I said it yesterday on the show. I was kind of prepared mentally for Domas to pick up 2 quick fouls. And Domas played the game last night like he was expecting the same thing.
Yeah.
These guys are going to whistle me.
Like he thought if he played physical at all, he was going to pick up 2 quick fouls.
Yep. And it can't happen. Look, man, if they call them on you, they call them on you. You can't let that impact your game. You can't let it affect you. You just can't.
Go ahead and use the ball as a weapon.
Babar says Sabonis cannot attack the paint. Who's going to do the top of the key handoffs to Barnes, Herter, and Sabonis? Goes down low, bang with Looney. I'm confused. See, Babar hits the point that I've been talking about this year, Ramie, and we've seen this from time to time. We saw it in the second half of game 1. You don't have to run the DHOs as much as they do.
Especially if Golden State is going to crash on them the way that they have been, effectively.
Like, you've been great. You've been great doing that all year long, and I don't necessarily want you to get away from it. But it's like we were talking about earlier in the show. When the Kings start out so bad from 3, this happened in game 2. Game 2, they missed their first, 10 threes, 11 threes? I think they were 0 for 10 in the first quarter. What'd they do in the second quarter? Well, Monk hit a couple of threes, right? He hit 3 threes in a row, which was huge. But they also attacked. They scored like 60 paint points in game 2. So, you can run different things offensively. You don't have to run the DHOs all the time. Domas does not have to always be at the free throw line. And I've been preaching this in the regular season. And Ramie, you sit across from me every day. I've been saying this. Like, I'd like to see, at least every once in a while, Domas's Tukis in the paint, back to the basket, posting up. I know it's 1985 style, and I know we hate watching that in 2023, and I know the NBA has evolved and moved away from it. But when you've got a dude who is strong and physical and is usually really good in the paint, I don't know. I don't think it's crazy every once in a while to say, post up, big man. Especially when you start slow from three-point land. Throw it into him a couple of times. Get his back to the basket, throw it into him. And if he gets doubled, read the double, kick it out for an open 3.
And then once Golden State starts reacting to that, go back to the dribble handoff. Probably opens that back up. This whole thing is a chess match. Mike Brown said before the series started, a playoff series is like a game of whack-a-mole. Every time you solve one problem, another one pops up. Give them another problem.
Well, the Kings had a problem last night.
Had a few of them.
There was no Draymond Green, but the bigger issue, we talked about this yesterday on the show, the small ball and how that was going to impact it. Going in, I thought this is great for the Kings. Small ball, you've dominated the paint the first couple games, bludgeon them in the paint. Bludgeon them in the paint until they stop you somehow, some way. And if they were going to go small, even easier to kind of bludgeon them. It didn't happen. The Kings had 14 points in the paint in the first half. The exact opposite happened last night. The Kings were -2 in the paint versus the Warriors. And I'll tell you a couple of issues I saw, Ramie. Number one, defensively, I do think going small was better for Golden State because it forced the Kings to play 4 or 5 guys defensively. And what I mean by that is, when you've got Looney and you've got Draymond Green on the court, you're almost in essence playing 5-on-3 if you're Golden State. The Kings are not going to respect Draymond's shooting ability, and nor should they. They're not going to respect Looney's shooting ability, and nor should they. It's easy to lay off of those guys and attack Steph and Clay and the others, Andrew Wiggins and the other guys, by bringing help, by blitzing. And that's when you can double, right? You can double Steph because you can take Draymond's guy and throw him on Steph every once in a while. I thought the Warriors offense looked much better last night, even though they shot terrible. It looked much better last night than it looked in the first two games because they had more fluidity on the floor. They had more spacing, and they were forcing the Kings to defend all five guys.
And they weren't. And they weren't. To break it down real simple, they just weren't. And you're right, Nick. They can't keep going back to the same well over and over again when this stuff isn't working. We pointed out at the beginning of the show, they went from being the best offense, not just this season in the NBA, maybe ever in the NBA, to being one of the worst in this playoff field right now. What they're doing to this point has not worked.
No.
You need to throw something else at them and give them something else to think about.
And defensively, I also thought small ball bothered the Kings because defensively, the Warriors were switching everything.
That was without Gary Payton Jr.
Yes, they were switching everything. They were switching every single time. Like they would just switch and they'd be able to recover. And because
we and Mike Brown thought we'd see a bunch of zone.
Yeah. Saw like
they
none of it.
barely used the zone.
Saw none of it.
Klay Thompson afterwards kind of said, fooled ya. Like, I forgot what the exact quote was, but
yeah,
I think he said, guess you were wrong, Coach Brown, or something like that. They see the quotes.
I'll say it again. I thought Coach Brown out-coached Steve Kerr thoroughly in the first two games. I think Kerr won the matchup last night.
Game 3. Yep.
And so, when you look at this, they were able to recover defensively because they were flying around. They had some of their better athletes on the floor at the same time. They were quicker to the glass, all of that stuff. And the Kings did not use their size and physicality to their advantage.
Yep.
And it fed right into the Warriors game last night. It was crazy. Like you're playing a team that's small and not overly physical, and the Kings decided last night to not play physical. They gave exactly what the Warriors wanted them to give. Instead of going out there and trying to smash them and push them around, they fed into it. Also, one last point about the game last night. We got to get to this. The others, woof.
Yeah, man.
So for Golden State, Moses Moody had 13 out of nowhere. Dante DiVincenzo was terrific. 6 points, 7 rebounds, 8 dimes. Looney, we talked about him. We saw a bad Monk last night.
Yeah, he went full Monk.
Full Monk. He 4 points, 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 4 from 3. His shot selection was embarrassing. In the first half, go look back at Malik Monk's shot selection. Actually, don't hurt your eyes.
Yeah,
move on from the game. I'm sorry I even suggested that.
Forget it happened.
Malik Monk's first half shot selection was putrid.
Malik Monk should watch it with his coaches. There's no need for the rest of us to do that.
Awful. When Monk plays the game right, he's fantastic. Last night, he was forcing all of these garbage shots. Forcing threes, driving into the lane, leaving his feet for no reason, and throwing the basketball up towards the rim. It was gross. And Trey Lyles wasn't good either.
Couldn't hit a thing.
It's Kessler Edwards time.
Settle down.
We didn't know which team he was playing for.
That was the Monk we got last night.
Yep.
We've said it. Monk's going to Monk. The full Monk. We got it last night. The roller coaster. Hopefully he's the good Monk on Sunday. Lyles and Monk combined, 6 points. 1 of 15 from the floor. They were 0 for 8 from 3.
Oof.
That's terrible.
We said it, Ramie. It's the old adage. It's the cliche, but cliches exist for a reason.
That just made me throw up in my mouth a little.
Bench players usually play better in the playoffs when they're at home. When you're on the road, you can't always bank on them. And last night, that was the case. Bleacher Report's Dan Favale joins us to talk Kings, Warriors, and more next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
A source is
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Back to the phones we go. And right now on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, is Dan Favale from Bleacher Report, also part of the Hardwood Knocks podcast. Dan, thanks for joining us. Your time is much appreciated. Were you surprised how successful the Warriors were last night playing small?
Yes and no. I was surprised that they were as effective as they were defensively without Draymond and that. But
all right, let's put Dan on hold. Hold on 1 second, Dan.
We're going to put you on hold, buddy.
We'll see if we can get a better
it's a rough cell
better connection.
That's a rough
Frankie's wasn't great earlier.
Is that an us problem?
It's okay.
That's not an us problem, is it?
All right, we're going to try this one more time. Dan, if you continue your thoughts, please, on the Warriors playing small and how effective it was last night.
Yeah, I think it was surprisingly effective. Towards the end of the game, they really got slow, putting pressure on the basket to open up that space. But I was surprised, to your point, that they fared as well as they did defensively without Draymond in the lineup and then downsizing.
Who's played better basketball through 3 games, Dan, in your opinion? Because I don't feel like either team has played all that great compared to what they're capable of.
Yeah, I think the Kings, they missed a lot of high-quality threes in this. Their offense has probably been, especially the past 2 games, a little bit more loggy at points. But I do think that they've probably impressed me more as a team, where they've made, up until Game 3, we're making more adjustments. And I do think heading into Game 4, that's going to be a real key part of this series, to see which team kind of leans more into their adjustments. So the Warriors keep playing small, could we see it?
All right, we're losing Dan. We're losing Dan. Phones have not really worked out great for us today.
No, they have not.
Hasn't been the cleanest day. Things have could have gone a little bit better.
This has felt like probably that game felt for the Kings last night in Golden State.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's a Friday.
Yeah,
so we have the weekend to look forward to.
There's
because
a cold
so
one
far,
waiting for you. There's a cold one waiting for you, Nick Cattles.
I'll give us a solid B- to a C today, somewhere in that range.
I mean, on the curve of the difficulties that have presented themselves,
B+,
A+. I'm gonna give us
that's a little. Right. That's a little too much.
Would that surprise you that I
I'd
went
like
a
to
little too
remind
far?
people C's get degrees.
C's do get degrees.
That's true.
That's how half this show got here.
That's how this magic happens. Was the toughest part of the show the Kessler Edwards on the record from Simone? Or
Yeah, that was rough.
That
was a rough one.
All right, third time's the charm.
I think so.
Folsom Lake on a
I
hotline.
think so. I have faith in my guy.
Dan Favale with us. Dan, are you okay with the quality of looks from 3 the Kings have gotten in this series?
Yeah, I think for sure. Some of the looks that Keegan Murray has missed, a lot of the looks Davion Mitchell missed in Game 3, Kevin Huerter as well. They were high-quality looks, and so I think you expect those shots to hopefully go down as they continue to take more of them.
Talking with Dan Favale of the Bleacher Report. Dan, have the Warriors caused problems for Domas Sabonis, or has a lot of this been sort of self-inflicted by himself and the Sacramento Kings and the way they've run the offense?
I think part of the reason they've run the offense the way they have is I do think the Warriors' defense has been good at kind of taking away a lot of Sacramento's pet plays, and we've seen Sacramento run a little bit more pick and roll than normal, and so I think you have to credit them with maybe removing him and Sacramento in general in the half court from some of their comfort zones. And I also think, look, Sacramento's desire to run in this series, that's going to take away some touches from Sabonis a little bit as well. So I think those two things have been contributing factors more than anything else.
Dan Favale with us. Just one more for you on this series, Dan, before we move on to some other stuff, unless Ramie has one for you. But what do the Kings, to you, need to do the rest of the way to win this series? Is it as easy as just make those open looks from 3, or do you think they have to do just more than that?
It's definitely to make the open look part, but I would probably also like to see them maybe experiment more sooner with downsizing themselves, especially if the Warriors are going to downsize. Like, you put in Malik Monk for Keegan Murray and kind of see if you can lean on that lineup as a crutch. And I think, we saw him get away from Davion Mitchell a little bit in Game 3 compared to Game 2 when he wasn't hitting his shots. Depending on how the Warriors are running their offense, if they're going to go smaller, I think Davion Mitchell becomes mission critical in this series moving forward.
Dan, has anybody impressed you in the West? Because I got to admit, I'm underwhelmed by what I've seen by most of the Western Conference so far, which I thought coming in was a really, really strong, deep conference.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I will say I've been hyper impressed with what the Nuggets have done defensively, what I've seen from Jamal Murray, but that comes with the caveat they're going up against the corpse that is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Right, exactly.
Right now. You don't really know how to gauge their effectiveness. So I think they're the team that's come closest to exceeding my expectations. But I will even say the Kings defensively in this series against the Warriors, I do think they've pretty easily exceeded expectations for the most part.
Dan, last one for you. Nick Nurse, we're going to talk about the news of the day in the NBA. Nick Nurse gone from Toronto. How deep are the issues with the Raptors organization?
I think they're pretty deep, because based off what Nick Nurse said during one of his pregame availabilities, I think around the play-in or during the play-in, the way it was framed, how he was fired instead of a parting of the ways, comments from Masai Ujiri after the fact talking about how bad the culture was. And then I think you look at the roster construction where they have so many holes, not a ton of depth, and they have this vision of playing super versatile basketball, but they're not actually versatile because their personnel is so unpolished and again, shallow. And that's a team I was high on coming into this past season. But I think after watching this year and based off everything that's unfolded, even since the season has ended, you look at Toronto as being maybe more of a work in project than you even would have assumed around the trade deadline.
Coming into the playoffs, Dan, it looked like there was a lot of parity in the Western Conference, and almost anybody could come out of there. And then you looked at the East, and I think most people thought it was the Bucks and the Celtics, and maybe the 76ers had an outside shot. Has anything changed the way that you're looking at the East, or do you still think it's one of those 2 or 3 teams that's coming out of there?
I still think it's one of those 2 or 3 teams, with the caveat that when I watch Cleveland sometimes, I can see it. I can just see the outline with what they're able to do defensively on the inside. When Karis LeVert, with how well he's been defending overall, is hitting his shots, they do look borderline unstoppable with their top 5 or 6 guys. And so I think a good litmus test, if they get past the first round, will come in their second round opponent for sure. But that's a team that I think, even if they can't punch their way to the conference finals or out of the East, like they could take some of the elite teams, the Bucks, to if they needed to a 7-game series.
Once we figured out the phones, things went terrific, Dan. We appreciate your time, my man. Have a great weekend, and let's do this again soon.
Thank you so much for having me and working through the phone issues.
No worries. Thank you, Dan. There goes Dan Favale from Bleacher Report, also the Hardwood Knocks podcast. He was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Told you, man, Cleveland, like, they're sneaky. They're sneaky good. They can do a lot of different things,
but not
like
like
some versatility.
Not like they can do something this year good, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I'd give them like a 10% chance, but I would give them a slight chance. Okay. I would. I think they're a tough matchup for a lot of teams. The NFL suspended 5 players today. We'll get to that and more coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA
afternoon home for Kings talk and more
This is Cattles and Ramie.
on Sactown Sports.
I was split seconds away from making an inappropriate joke before you put your microphone on. I'm so happy I didn't.
Can't get beat glove side, though.
That's
You were
right.
just telling me that during the break.
Yeah.
Big goal for the Bruins.
Well, not like from 40 feet away.
Right.
You know.
How big of the goal is? Ramie? That's a question for Ramie.
How big is a
that
goal in
Ramie?
hockey? 5 feet by 5 feet?
I'm saying how
how
the moment
big
of
of a
scoring
goal?
the goal, how big is that? Not the dimensions of the goal.
I was almost thinking like Ramie was thinking.
I
thought
just
that's the
thought you were
question.
asking me the dimensions of the goal. Oh, huge, Jay. Huge goal.
It's early.
Humongous goal.
By the way, TCG asks in the YouTube chat, Nick, you always sound so angry when you analyze something the team should be doing. Why is that? As I explained to TCG, it's not anger. It's
Intensity?
passion. It's passion. I'm from the Northeast. Like,
Yeah.
I get worked up when I start breaking things
Should
down.
have seen him when that goal went in.
It's also a little presentation too. You know what I mean? It's like
Stephen A. Like we were
See,
saying,
that's a good word.
Like we were saying before about Stephen A.
Yeah, when you want to make a point,
Yeah.
you know, and you want to make sure that people get the point.
Delivery.
You put a little more oomph into it. It's just my style. And TCG just said he was wondering, he was just checking because he's worried about my blood pressure.
How is your blood pressure?
I told him I'm worried about it too.
Is it good?
It's usually really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually really good.
I have cholesterol issues.
But
I have blood pressure.
when I get excited and when I get like to get breaking stuff down and like just, you know, the passion ramps up a little bit. And also when I talk about things that frustrate me, I will tend to get a little bit more demonstrative. Like, you know, Domas's game last night and
like big goal, the glove side goal.
So, you know, if you care about something, you get all passionate, worked up about it. That's maybe how it comes across as anger.
I think it's a California thing too, the way that we are interpreting.
Oh yeah. Like if you think I'm angry, go to the Northeast. Spend a couple weeks there.
We're pacifists.
You'll come back, you'll be like, you know what, Nick, you're not that angry.
Nick's mellow. Nick's mellow out there.
Or at least I'm kind of like the rest of them. But I don't think I'm as angry as some.
Haven't spent that much time in Boston, but a lot of time in New York. And yeah, it's a different cut out there.
Talk to my dad after like a 3-game losing streak from the Red Sox.
Oh no.
You want to turn away. It could get ugly. So anyway. And I also think it's like I work with Ramie, and Ramie's just like laughing a lot, and he's like your Midwest guy, just like chill and laughing and like whatever.
Just want to have a good time, man.
Yeah, that's
Some
it.
cheese curds.
Just
Sorry.
Yeah, did you hear how she said that too? It was so like
Let's go down to the brewery,
It was
man.
kind of spot on the way she said
Cheese curds.
cheese curds.
Have a brat. That's what they told me when I went to
man.
Green Bay.
Oh, you can't-
gotta have a brat,
listen, you
man.
can't-
You can't
you're making
leave
me
here
hungry,
without
Simone.
a brat.
You're making me hungry.
You really
Simone.
can't go wrong with a nice brat from Milwaukee.
Oh, brat, some cheese curds on the
Yeah.
side.
I went all the way up to Green Bay. I went to Lambeau for a 49ers game one time.
Yeah, I've never
That's what
been to
they told
Green
me.
Bay. I went to
Miller Lite.
Milwaukee.
Miller Lite.
Went to Milwaukee. I love Milwaukee.
Milwaukee's nice too.
I will say I don't know if I could deal with Milwaukee for longer than like 3 or 4 days. Maybe I could if I lived there, but like I don't know. It's just like it was it was like good, but I don't know if like I'm sure there's a lot to do. But
Were
when
you
you
there
go,
when it was snowing?
no,
Oh,
I went in the
God,
summertime.
see,
What do
yeah,
you
I
think? I'm
can't.
crazy?
Yeah.
You know what kind of town Milwaukee is? My bartender still texts me. Almost a year after I left. That's what kind of town Milwaukee is.
That might mean you have a problem, Ramie. I mean,
I know a couple people like that.
I don't want to psychoanalyze you right now, but I don't know if that's a good
I
thing.
told you they made it a Kings bar on nights the Bucks aren't playing. They
Yeah, you
salute
did.
the beam.
You mentioned that
They
yesterday.
Cheers to the beam now.
I did not know that, and
Yeah.
I want to talk more about this later.
Yeah, he mentioned on the show yesterday that he's got a bar out in Milwaukee that they light the beam for everybody.
Yeah.
When the Bucks are not playing.
They asked for a picture of the beam and they put it up on the TV now after the Kings win and cheers the beam.
All right, so let's get to we'll get back to the Kings in a couple minutes. Trying to track down Doug Christie as well, DC. Hopefully will join us in the 5:00 hour. But before we get back to the Kings, the big sports story today happened in the NFL, and it had to do with 5 players being suspended by the NFL. And they suspended these 5 players for violations of the league's gambling policy. 4 of the 5 players were Lions. So the Lions are big hitting that FanDuel and DraftKings action. Ian Rappaport reported that the league suspended Jamison Williams, Quintez Cephas, one of my favorite names, Stanley Berryhill, and safety C.J. Moore to go along with Washington Commanders defensive end Shaka Toney. Shaka and Cephas were suspended.
Great names.
Williams and Berryhill received 6-game suspensions. Cephas, Moore, and Toney suspended indefinitely. They can apply for reinstatement after the 2023 season. Here was Ian Rappaport with some more detail.
Here's my understanding of how this went down. The 3 players that are suspended at least a year, suspended indefinitely, were believed to have gambled on NFL games. Obviously, that is what we saw with Calvin Ridley as well. That's what warranted the major suspension. That is why those players have the ability to reapply, but only after a year. The 2 players, which are Stanley Berryhill and which are Jamison Williams, they are believed to have gambled on college games, but from their facility or from another place associated with their NFL team. Perhaps the locker room, perhaps the bus. That also is not allowed. And you know, that is a part of this rule that I think there's a lot of education being done on right now with agents and teams disseminating info, letting players know that even though it is a college game, they're not allowed to place a bet on it if it is from the facility or if it's something associated with the team. So that is why it breaks down that way. As far as the specifics of why these 4 players, that as of right now is unknown. But what we know, 5 players, including 4 Lions, significant suspensions for violations of the NFL's gambling policy.
I don't know how this happens, Nick. I don't know how this happens after you just saw Calvin Ridley get a year suspension.
Yeah,
a year ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the fact that, and not to take the blame off any one of the individuals who broke rules that are laid out in front of them in detail. You know what I mean? For them to go out and do what they did. But the fact that it wasn't just the 4 Lions players. Some Lions executives also got caught up in this thing and lost their jobs over it. That says to me that the Lions are doing a poor job of educating their employees,
you think?
On what is and is not okay.
They're too busy focused on biting kneecaps
in terms of these gambling guidelines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you have that many people in one organization? Because it doesn't seem like malicious or like they were trying to fix games or rig games or anything like that. They just violated kind of stupid little rules that are in these gambling guidelines. And now a bunch of guys, people in the front office lost their jobs, and who knows what's in store for their careers moving forward. And these players, a few of them suspended indefinitely. It's just such a dumb thing to get pinched for, especially after you saw it happen to Calvin Ridley a year ago. Just be smarter, man. Just be smarter with this stuff.
Just follow the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not difficult to just follow the rules. And it's not like it's rocket science. I mean, some of these guys suspended. Again, the guys suspended indefinitely because they're betting on the NFL. Like, you should know that. You should know that. If you know anything about sports, you know if you're betting on the game that you play, you're going to get in trouble. Like that's not rocket science. If you're betting on the NFL, you deserve to be suspended. I'm not losing sleep for you. And the other guys that are going to be suspended for the 6 games or whatever, it's because they were betting on other sports inside the facility. Just do it away from the facility. You don't have to gamble at work, fellas.
Right.
Do it at home.
Right.
Do it when you're hanging out at the bar or a restaurant or where. Just don't do it inside the facility. This is not difficult.
And even if you think it's a stupid rule, which some might argue it is, you know it's the rule.
It's a rule.
You know what I mean? It's the argument.
Unfortunately, it's not your job to set the rules as the player.
It's the argument I always make about the tuck rule, which I know hits home for you, Nick. When people are like, "Oh, terrible call," I'm like, "No, terrible rule.
Yeah,
right call.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And the same might apply here. Stupid rule, but they're enforcing it by the letter of the law, and those players knew that when they were crossing those lines.
All right, we'll get to the top story. Talk more Kings Warriors coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Good morning, Jacob. Welcome in.
Sac Kings fans are the best. I was at Game 2. Every single man in the bathroom at halftime washed his hands. I've never seen that at another sports stadium anywhere in the world.
Way to go, Kings fans. I don't think I would ever expected to hear that call.
We're the cleanest fans in the NBA.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle, so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockel with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. The credit card treadmill isn't some fad workout routine. It is what's facing many Americans who find themselves with higher debt loads that are leading to even higher debt loads. Lighter wallets and heavier credit card bills? This is the reality that many Americans are grappling with. Americans spend an average of $400 extra per month to afford the same goods and services they did a year ago. Current costs are only part of the picture when determining the effect inflation is having on many Americans. Higher costs of goods and services are hurting pocketbooks now and changing behavior such as reducing retirement savings and lowering emergency savings. According to Bankrate, 68% of adults are saving less for emergencies due to inflation. This means the true cost of our current inflation may be felt several years from now still. While Federal Reserve action against inflation has hurt current 401k balances, ignoring it could prove to be infinitely worse. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Hey, Scott, you look great.
Yeah, I'm feeling good and have a new job.
No, there's something different about the way you look.
To be honest, a few months ago, I had an amazing robotic hair transplant procedure at XL Medicine. It's called the artist procedure.
No way. Your hair looks completely natural, and you don't even have a scar. How did they do that?
Dude, the artist system is amazing. I have this fantastic hairline, and I'm happy with my results. XL Medicine could probably help you too, buddy.
Using the ARTIS procedure, Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall can target and harvest healthy hair follicles with micron-level accuracy from the back of your head and transplant them where you need it. The procedure is painless, and you'll be back doing your regular activities in a couple of days. Ask Dr. Singh and Dr. Graywall at Excel Medicine about the ARTIS procedure. Call today, 916-932-4470. That's 932-4470 for a complimentary in-person or Zoom consultation, or on the web at excelmedicine.com. That's EXCEL medicine.com. See what the ARTIS procedure can do for you.
These are actors and not real patients. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the fraught I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. Top Spot coming at you right now.
Did you miss the headline and the top story of the day?
Extra, read all about it.
Don't worry, because we got you covered.
This is how we do.
It's the Cattles and Ramie.
Top Spot.
All right, so we talked about Game 3 last night. Let's move forward to Game 4 on Sunday. Huge game coming up this weekend. Here's Coach Brown. Okay, we're going to wait for Coach Brown. Sitting around. He's thinking about things as Ramie's getting a mic check. Sure, Mike Brown had a lot of good things to say about this weekend.
Yeah, every time we step on the floor, we're growing, whether we win or we lose. Tonight they just, our group had a chance to experience what a championship team does when their back's against the wall.
So you're learning. It's great to learn. Hopefully the Kings learned from last night, their lack of, physicality, their lack of urgency, and hopefully they go out there on Sunday and look like the team we saw on Monday night here at the G1C.
And hopefully a little bit of that urgency was let out for the Golden State Warriors, and they're not that team with their hair on fire for Game 4 that we saw in Game 3. Because, Nick, they know the intensity it takes to succeed at this level. And the Kings did not match it. And it's hard to match it when they get to the level that they got to in Game 3 last night. And they're going to have the added juice of Draymond Green coming back from his one-game suspension after they felt they were wrong with his suspension. And that place, the players, the fans, that place is going to be on fire for the Golden State Warriors, and the Kings are going to have to withstand that intensity, that heat that's going to be burning in that stadium when that game starts off.
The emotion on Sunday in San Francisco is going to be real.
Yes.
It's going to be legit. And, we talk about the 3 Ps, the poise, the physicality, and all that stuff, right? We go with the Coach Brown 3 Ps. And he's been preaching that from the beginning of this series. Well, poise is going to be needed. Poise is going to be needed big time on Sunday because I expect that place to be going bananas. And Draymond's going to be,
on one,
going 85 miles an hour from the jump.
Yes, he is.
So be ready for that. So you heard from the coach. Let's hear from Domas now.
Like I said, I just feel like we need that fight. We need that fight that we have at home. Come out there, and be desperate.
Be desperate. Be desperate. The Kings did not look like the desperate team last night. The Warriors looked like the team that was down 0-2, which makes sense because they are the team down 0-2. But you had to match that intensity. You had to match that energy. You had to match that urgency. You had to understand going in last night that the Warriors, the defending NBA champions, We're not just going to roll over. And, I thought there was a lack of that. So as we look towards Sunday, Ramie, what are we looking for? What are you going to be watching for on Sunday during this game?
I said to start the show when we talked, our major takeaways from yesterday's show, and I said, I don't know if this is too easy, too simple, lazy of me to say they just didn't hit enough shots. They just missed too many shots.
Yeah.
And they have throughout this series. Nick, they just got to start hitting shots, man. You know
Especially
what I mean?
the wide open ones.
Especially the wide open ones. And even if they're not hitting them at the clip that we saw in the regular season, even if the offense isn't clicking at that level, they need to, at the very least, take advantage of every opening that the Warriors give them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
The turnover battle. 7 points off 12 turnovers yesterday. Can't have that. Shooting under 70% from the free throw line. You can't have that. The margin for error is way, way too slim in this series. That when the Warriors present you opportunity, you don't pounce on it. They did a great job of that because they haven't shot the basketball well the entire series. Even the 2 games that they won, they haven't shot the basketball well. But they did a great job of every sliver that Golden State left open for them in those first 2 games. They pounced on it. They capitalized on it, and that's how you won those 2 basketball games. Even if you're not shooting the ball the way that we've gotten used to seeing them shoot the ball throughout the regular season, you at least have to take advantage of those opportunities when they put you on the free throw line and when they give you the basketball. Have to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the shooting, and Deuce tweeted this out earlier today. You shot 12 of 32 from 3 in game 1. You shot 9 of 38 in game 2. You shot 11 of 47 last night, and that's a total of 27% in the series. And they've had a lot of wide open shots. So make your shots. That would be nice. And, take the right threes. And I think they've mostly done that. But if you're not making threes, if you're not making those shots to start this game on Sunday, then try to attack. And if you attack, as Ramie said, you get to the free throw line, make your free throws. That just infuriates me when you're missing all the free throws that they missed last night. That's inexcusable. And you are right, Ramie, that the margin of error is so slim in this series. All of those free throws mean an awful lot to you. Physicality, we mentioned. Pace. Got to remember pace for the Kings. I'd like to see their pace be better on Sunday than it was last night. And I really want to see Domas be aggressive. I want to see Domas be decisive. I want him to be, physical. I want him to try to take it to Kevon Looney. And understand that when you catch that basketball, you know what you're going to do with it. And I think there's been a little too much caution to his play. There's been a little bit too much of indecisiveness from him. And he has to know, if I'm catching it, I'm going, or if I'm catching it, I'm shooting this 15-footer, or I'm just going to get rid of it to a teammate. Domas has to step up and be better on Sunday. The Kings are not going to win this series if Kevon Looney is canceling out Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, and of Kevin Looney, of all people, outplaying Domantas Sabonis simply cannot happen.
It's not like Fox canceling out Curry. You can understand that a little bit more. Looney canceling out your all-star, no.
Can't happen.
No.
It absolutely 100% can't happen. And they need to match the intensity. Nick, they need to come out and match the intensity of the Warriors yesterday. We heard Domas say, play like the more desperate team, play like your backs are against the wall. Look, I said the deeper this series goes, the better I feel about the Kings.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not 3-0, but putting this Warriors team down 3-1 with 2 games left at the Golden One Center and the way that they've played on the road this season, you do have a chance to kind of lock in this series right now. Whereas the flip side of that, you let the Warriors even up this series at 2 apiece and start feeling themselves and get a little momentum rolling.
Yep.
As far as the mindset of these 2 teams, the Kings really kind of need this one. Really, really kind of need this one against the Warriors tonight to not let them get that ball rolling too fast.
You don't want to come back here to the G1C on Wednesday feeling like, this is it.
Don't put yourself in a must-win situation.
Because before this series began, I had said I find it very difficult. I thought it'd go 6 or 7 games from the beginning. And, I'm going to stand by that. I did not think you could envision a team in this series winning 4 straight games. If the Warriors win on Sunday and it's 2-2, man, oh man, is Wednesday night just ginormous. Because you go down 3-2, I'm sorry, it's over. I do not think if the Warriors go up 3-2, it's difficult for me to imagine the Warriors losing both games 6 and 7 as defending champions. I would not. There's always a chance. I wouldn't feel great about it.
I don't want to. Like I said, don't put yourself in a must-win situation.
And I said yesterday, look, all you need is one. All you need is one at the Chase Center. Get me one. Get me one. So if you can win on Sunday, yes, I agree with you, Ramie. You now lead the series 3-1. You should feel pretty good about it, if not really good about it. And I'm not panicked after last night. I'm not. I didn't think the Warriors played great. I thought you played like trash. The Kings did not play a good game last night. It happens. You wished it wouldn't happen in the playoffs, but they just didn't play well enough.
I won't be panicked until and unless the Warriors win a game here in Sacramento.
Like, you can survive. You can survive. It's very similar to what the Warriors went through at the G1C, honestly. Like, you can survive not shooting great, but you can't combine not shooting great with giving up 100 offensive rebounds, a ton of, second chance points, getting beat in the paint by a team that has no business beating you in the paint. Like, the Warriors haven't shot well. They lost games 1 and 2 off of those rebounds and second chance points and paint points and all that. That's what happened to the Kings last night. They didn't shoot well, but that's not why they lost. They lost because they gave up 18 offensive rebounds. They gave up 24 second chance points.
Yeah.
That's why they lost. I mean, the shooting would obviously help.
Are you crazy? Giving the Warriors second chances? Are you crazy?
Yeah, you just can't, man.
You can't allow that.
When they're playing small. Like, Kevon Looney had 9 offensive rebounds on his own. That's ridiculous. Meanwhile, Monk, Lyles, look, I don't need you guys to score a combined 40 points on Sunday, but please do not approach the game like you approached the game last night. I thought their shot selection was terrible, and they were just bad. Both guys were bad. It was rough to watch. So, Monk, Lyles, give us something. Final thing I'll say. Well, 2 more quick ones, actually. Warriors, will they go small on Sunday more than we think now that they saw what happened last night? I don't know if they will. Because, what do? Do you take Looney out of the game? I don't think they're going to take Draymond Green out. I think they're going to play Green tomorrow, on Sunday. He's going to get 30, 35 minutes.
Yes.
So if you go small, you're going to have to take out Looney. Do you take out Looney after you just grabbed 20 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds, and had 9 dimes?
Not unless you force them to.
So maybe they just go back to being big, which would be interesting. And finally, the non-Curry minutes. We talked about it yesterday, Ramie. That was another thing we haven't gotten to yet. The non-Curry minutes. The 2 stints that I wrote down last night, you broke out even. One stint, the Kings were +1. The next stint, they were -1.
Steve Kerr changed it up last night, too.
Yeah.
In terms of his substitution patterns with Curry.
So if Curry's out of the game, you've got to take advantage. If you walk away from a game even when Curry's out, you're most likely going to lose that game.
Yeah. You're going to have a hard time coming out on the right side.
All right, we got a lot more to get to.
Yes, we do.
It seems like DC will most likely not be able to join us.
Oh, no.
So we'll continue with more Kings-Warriors thoughts, more NBA thoughts. Lots of good stuff left coming up in 90 seconds.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And
and Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
Live and local in the afternoon.
They always keep you on edge.
Cattles
And Ramie.
on Sactown Sports.
Kay Johnson, YouTube. Don't forget youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Give us that like. Give us that thumbs up. It'd be very much appreciated. Warriors didn't even play that well. Kings are in a good spot, but Sunday will be tough because of the early Sunday tip-off, which I expect the Dubs to win. That's going to be the one of the really curious things on Sunday, because you never really know, right? You never really know how a team is going to respond to an early tip. Some teams just hate that. Remember, these guys are night owls. They usually sleep in, and to have a game tip off at like 12:30 feels weird. Mic check.
12:30.
Yeah, just it feels strange to these guys. So it'll be fascinating to see if one of the two teams looks a little bit more ready for the early moment than the other. Maybe they both come out ready. Maybe they both come out looking like crap. You have no idea. I mean, they might both come out looking, a little slumpy. And it's really interesting because we went into this series, Ramie, thinking that this was going to be some offensive explosion, right? Like this we talked about like, Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer tweeted before the series that something along the lines of this is going to be the most like offensively beautiful series that we've ever seen and stuff. Really hasn't been that way. Game 1 was pretty good, but neither team has shot the lights out.
I think a lot of that probably has to do with these two coaches knowing each other and knowing what the other is trying to do.
Yeah.
And
I think you're right.
And knowing their next move. You know what I mean? Like Mike Brown does something and knows it's going to give Steve Kerr some problems and probably knows what Steve Kerr is going to try and do to counter that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're both ready for almost whatever punch the other throws at them.
And, we'll see what the adjustments are from Coach Brown on Sunday, because he'll have to make some adjustments. And, the one thing I will say, if you have to go to TD, if you're going like that far down the bench, I thought last night Kessler Edwards should have been given some minutes. Look, the early TD stint, okay, because you're trying to get offense. Like you're really, really trying to get some offense. Mm-hmm. But the third quarter, you're not defending at all. And if you're going to go down that bench, at least I feel pretty comfortable in the idea that Kessler can defend. So I would not be surprised if you see some Kessler Edwards minutes if the Warriors go small on Sunday for
Simone
stretches.
would love that.
Yes.
Has him 12 points down on the record.
Simone predicted 12 points for Kessler Edwards on Sunday.
That's right.
He's a big Kessler Edwards fan. Let's go to TC. TC wants to talk Kings and Warriors. What's up, TC?
How you guys doing?
What is up with telephones?
Good,
today?
TC. You there? We're gonna put him on hold. What is going on? Again, this show has not been the cleanest show. Do we have a problem? Simone's trying to talk to us. She doesn't have the microphone. I just see her.
Whoops.
See her lips moving. I don't know what you're saying. What were you saying?
We have to turn it down for the people on the phone. But I was trying to say we got to call an engineer.
Oh.
This is bad.
So is this an us problem?
Perhaps.
We've had issues with the phones all day.
TC problem.
Do we want to?
That was TC's problem.
JJ said that was a TC problem.
No, I know that's a TC. He was trying to catch in too late.
That was a TC problem. Let's try Rich then. Let's see if Rich works out. Rich, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. Are you there?
Yes, we are here. Thankfully.
Yeah, man. I'm talking to you guys all the way from San Diego.
Nice. Fantastic.
Yeah. So the big beam, the guy that had the crown on with the big beam.
Yes.
Did you guys ever meet him?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
The guy that was wearing the beam.
I know.
The guy that was dressed as the beam.
Yeah, Simone, he was standing like close to us.
Yes.
He was a section over on Monday night from Simone and I. But we never got to talk to him.
He's from San Diego.
Oh, is he? So he came all the way up dressed as the Beam.
Yeah. I actually saw him. He was at the watch party yesterday as well.
Yeah, he had the rooftop, open so he could,
That's something else. Dressed as the Beam.
Yeah.
A legend.
Dressed as a Beam. Can you imagine driving down the freeway and seeing that?
No, I would hope that he had that in the trunk.
That thing in the car. There's no way he had that suit inflated.
No, we see him driving all over town.
I would love to see, dude. I would love to see that. Just a human beam driving down the highway. That would be so cool.
I know. I actually am trying to hook up with this guy and meet him. I don't know him personally.
Well, good luck with that, Rich. We appreciate
it.
Sure, go ahead.
Hey, that's not what I called. Hold on.
All right, what do you got?
All right. No, what I got is the fact that the Kings normally, when they have a game like yesterday, they always jump back. They always answer back.
Yep. That's a point I've made throughout the season. Thanks for the call, TC. Only 2 losing streaks.
Or Rich. Thank you, Rich. Appreciate the time.
Oh, yeah, TC.
TC was the one that phoned down. Rich's was doing a little echo thing.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know if we want to take any more calls today.
But
okay. I hear that.
Nick, a point I've made.
I think we're playing with danger.
A point I made coming into the playoffs. Losing streaks of 3 games or more twice.
Yes.
This whole season for the Kings.
Yep.
None since November. And their record, the more they face a team, only gets better. Both of those things, I think, bode well for the deeper that we go into this series and Mike Brown and his staff making whatever necessary adjustments need to be made.
Yes. We do have some news coming from the NBA, and it's not great news. The injury bug is like real. Kawhi is going to be out tomorrow for the Clippers. I have 0.0 confidence Kawhi Leonard's coming back.
Same.
I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't. I don't feel like he's going to come back. I think he's done for this series. I think the Phoenix Suns are going to move on. I think the Clippers have a very interesting offseason coming up with both Paul George and Kawhi. I don't know if you can bank on Kawhi anymore, man. We saw it too. We've seen it. He's special.
It was a risk when they did it.
But he can't stay on the floor.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out. We also have found out, according to Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne, an MRI revealed that Joel Embiid suffered a sprained right knee, and he will miss Game 4 tomorrow against Brooklyn. There's optimism he could be ready to return as soon as early next week. We'll see. Big guy, knee sprain. It's the same issue with Kawhi. Kawhi's got a knee sprain. Paul George has had a knee sprain for weeks. It feels like these NBA teams just go, knee sprain. As soon as somebody's knee goes, one way or the other, something happens.
Sprain is a very loose definition.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like knee sprain.
Covers a lot of things.
But we're optimistic.
What is going on with the NBA playoffs?
I mean, you got the
Giannis,
Kawhi,
Joel Embiid. Good God, man.
It's a problem. It's a problem. And, we'll see what happens, how long Embiid is out. They're saying they're optimistic, but the Clippers are optimistic too. Everybody's optimistic with the sprained knee.
Did he try and kick Nick Claxton in the junk with his right or his left foot?
Right.
Right.
His power leg. His power leg.
Maybe sprained a knee kicking.
So man, oh man. Not great for the 76ers. Certainly not great for the Clippers.
At least the Sixers have a 2-0 lead.
3-0.
3-0 lead, excuse me.
Yeah, they should beat Brooklyn. Even without Embiid, they should be able to beat Brooklyn. At least one more game. So, the injuries. Not great, Bob. Not great. We got the call back coming up next.
Cattles
and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! C-M-C. time. Sing!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Growing a business brings pressure. Staying compliant and retaining top talent in challenging times. You feel stretched thin. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put over 35 years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Engaged people empowered to be their best means overcoming obstacles. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If the sticker price markups that new car dealers are demanding are scaring you away from a brand new vehicle, you can still get the vehicle you want and save thousands at M&S Auto on El Camino right off the Cap City Freeway. M&S Auto has literally hundreds of gently used but beautiful Silverados, Rams, and Tacomas. And if you love muscle cars, they've got Challengers and Mustangs too. M&S Auto Sales. Great cars and trucks and fair deals every day. Come and get yours. MSAutogroup.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. It's Simone with your Sactown Sports headlines. First round of NBA playoffs continued last night, and over in San Francisco, offensively, the Sacramento Kings couldn't connect the right wires for a beam during the Game 3 loss to the Warriors.
The final score in this one will be 114-97. Golden State now very much back in the hunt, and they will welcome Draymond Green back to their roster for game number 4 on Sunday afternoon.
Kings shot 38% from the field, 23% from three-point land, and scored a season low of 41 points in the first half.
Something not that chill happened last night.
Despite the L, Sacramento Kings still lead the series 2-1, and Game 4 of the Front I-80 series continues bright and early Sunday at Chase Center with game night brunch coverage beginning at 11 a.m. and tip-off slated for a 12:30 matinee. And finally, bottom of the first, Rangers up 4 on the A's, still looking for their first run. I'm Simone. Those are your Sactown Sports headlines. JJ, please hit that call back.
I'm going to light up these phone lines.
The phone is ringing, and we are checking to see who's on the line.
Long time listener, first time caller.
News, gossip, a story.
Okay, who's the next victim?
It's the callback
on Cattles and Ramie.
Before we get to the callback, I want to tell you KNCI's Country in the Park is happening May 5th and 6th, thanks to Jiffy Lube at the Cal Expo. Chris Young, Lady A, Justin Moore, Brett Eldridge, and more. Tickets start at just $45. Weekend passes just $80. Head to SactownSports.com for those details. And you can also get those weekend passes and tickets at the SactownSports.com event page. All right, so let's get to the call back today. And today, we had our friend Dan Favale from Bleacher Report on the show. And we asked Dan if he's okay with the 3-point looks and shots the Kings are getting in this series so far.
Yeah, I think for sure. Some of the looks that Keegan Murray has missed, a lot of the looks Davion Mitchell missed in Game 3, Kevin Huerter as well. They were high-quality looks, and so I think you expect those shots to hopefully go down as they continue to take more of them.
You know, Ramie, looking at this series, we said this like in Game 1, which team has the most room to improve?
Mm-hmm.
Ask you the same question going into Game 4. Which team is it for you?
It's the Kings. After the first 2 games, it was the Warriors, and they made some of those improvements. Now it's the Kings, Nick. And with the shooting slump, when you talk about Keegan, when you talk about Kevin Huerter, just their 3-point shooting as a team, when they had these stretches during the regular season, I would just throw up my hands and go, hey, man, you get cold sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make or miss league, you're going to have stretches where you go cold.
Yep.
And the same can be said about the postseason. I'm not saying that this is all that different. What is different, though, is that the clock is ticking. You know what I mean? In the regular season, you can just wait for it, especially when you've played as well over the course of a season as the Kings did, and you put yourself in good position. Like, you can live with those stretches where you go cold and maybe lose a game or two. In the playoffs, you don't have that luxury, man. They gotta figure this thing out and get on some kind of heater, or this season's going to be over before you know it.
Yeah, Will Zimmerly on Twitter had a few tweets about the shot selection and shots that the Kings have gotten. Last night, they had 27 wide-open threes. The Kings had 27 wide-open three attempts last night. They made 6 of them. That's 22.2%. In the series, the Kings have shot 19 of 72 on wide-open threes, which is 26.4%. If you're wondering how that compares to the regular season, well, John Wilson jumped in and he helped. Wide open threes in the regular season, the Kings shot 39%. So wide open threes this year in the regular season, the Kings shot 39%. So far in this series, 26%. And if you just want to expand that and you want to look at 2-point shots, 2-point attempts, regular season, wide open twos, Kings shot 41.9%, wide open field goal percentage, 41.9. In this series, 30.1. Not great. Not great at all. So you would hope that would turn around. And I'll say this, Ramie, I do have the feeling, and I tweeted this last night at Nick C Radio. You can follow Ramie at Ramie is tweeting, R-A-M-I-E, Ramie is tweeting. I tweeted last night, it just feels like when the Kings start making threes, it is going to be an avalanche.
Yes.
Like, I feel like that first game when they start making their threes, all of a sudden you look up, it's going to be like 45, 46% from three, and guys are just knocking shots down. I hope that day comes on Sunday. It would be nice.
We need it to happen soon.
Yes.
Like I said, if it doesn't, the series could be over quicker than we thought.
Back to Dan Favale, who was on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Changes Dan would like to see the Kings make moving forward in this series.
It's definitely to make the open look part, but I would probably also like to see them maybe experiment more sooner with downsizing themselves, especially the Warriors are going to downsize. Like, you put in Malik Monk for Keegan Murray and kind of see if you can lean on that lineup as a crutch. And I think, we saw him get away from Davion Mitchell a little bit in Game 3 compared to Game 2 when he wasn't hitting his shots. Depending on how the Warriors are running their offense, if they're going to go smaller, I think Davion Mitchell becomes mission critical in this series moving forward.
Mission critical. It is interesting that, the Warriors went small last night, Ramie. Davion got 18 minutes. Game 1, he had 22. Game 2, he had 28. So last night, he played his fewest minutes of the series at 18.
They pointed it out on the broadcast last night. It seemed like And we mentioned that Steve Kerr changed up his substitution patterns in terms of when he was bringing Steph Curry in and out of the game. It seemed like almost every time Steph Curry got up off the bench to check back in the game, Mike Brown countered by getting Davion Mitchell up off the bench to get him ready to check back into the game. They're counting on him to be the Steph stopper, or at least a Steph slower in this series. And you know what? He's done a really good job, man. He's done a really good job of doing about as much as you can to make life hard on Steph Curry. You're not going to stop that guy. Even containing him might, the old you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. Even the containing him might be unrealistic when you're talking about potentially the greatest shooter to ever step on a basketball court.
He's tough.
But Davion Mitchell has done just about as much as one can to make his life as difficult as it can be.
Let's get to one more from Dan. Denver exceeding expectations in a weak conference, as has the Kings defense. Here's Favali on that.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. I will say I've been hyper impressed with what the Nuggets have done defensively, what I've seen from Jamal Murray, but that comes with the caveat they're going up against the corpse that is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Right, exactly.
Right now. You don't really know how to gauge their effectiveness. So I think they're the team that's come closest to exceeding my expectations. But I will even say the Kings defensively in this series against the Warriors, I do think they've pretty easily exceeded expectations for the most part.
The corpse of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
And I've seen a lot of people saying that they've been that one team that's impressed them in the Western Conference has been the Denver Nuggets. And like they've had a good series, but I also graded it on the curve of your competition. You know what I mean? And that Timberwolves team, I didn't think necessarily even looked like a playoff team by the time they got to this series. Kind of squeaked through the play-in, and I'm just not that impressed by Denver doing what they're doing against the Timberwolves. If they can look like this in the second round against whoever their opponent might be, then I might be impressed. But right now, honestly, it's still wide open, but only because nobody has done a lot to like jump off the page or separate themselves from the pack in my eyes in the Western Conference.
I mean, who do you love, right?
Right.
Phoenix has not been very impressive, by the way.
No.
Considering that PG-13 missed the first couple games, and then you had PG-13 and Kawhi out last night, and they had to barely survive. I give credit to Ty Lue. They went small and did a bunch of other things to try to junk up that game last night. But still, man, you going in with Booker, CP3, and KD, and Kawhi and PG-13 both sitting out, you'd imagine that would have been a relatively easy win for the Suns last night, and it was not. So the Suns haven't looked great. And you look at this series, neither series, Kings, Warriors, neither team has looked spectacular offensively. They've had a couple of rough patches from here and there. So, yeah, I think the Western Conference is wide open like we thought it would be. I have no idea who's going to represent the West. No clue.
None whatsoever.
Denver could steamroll Minnesota and lose in the second round. Like I have no clue. Memphis?
Anyone's guess is as good as mine.
The Memphis-LA series?
My dog could pick this I could just put treats on the bracket and see which one he takes, and it would be probably as good a chance of him getting it right as any of us.
We should have done that.
I might do that.
So there you have it. There's the callback. Again, Dan Favali from Bleacher Report. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Couple of YouTube chats here, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140, about our On the Record segment. As we mentioned, Simone chose Kessler Edwards to score 12 points on Sunday.
I get 12 minutes.
I know when you said 12, Simone, I thought you were going to say 12 minutes.
I know.
You said 12 points. I was like, oh.
I kind of regret it, but I don't at the same time.
Hey,
I apologize for absolutely nothing.
TCG said, didn't Simone call a 10-assist game from Keegan earlier in the year?
Oh,
Did he get it?
No.
Okay.
That was back in my morning show days. You guys don't want to get into that.
Double checking. There's a morning show.
Wait, so the morning show does a prediction segment?
Yeah.
What?
Hold on. What? Is that ripping us off?
Wow.
Didn't we?
It's called 3 in the Key.
Didn't we create the prediction segment on sports radio?
I thought we were the only ones, man.
Manny too legit, by the way. Keegan with 3 or 4 threes on Sunday. It'd be great.
Me and Manny on the same playing field here.
I want Keegan to hit a couple threes early in the game on Sunday. I really do. I would love to see Keegan Murray drill a couple threes. Maybe that 3 last night in garbage time will get him going. Maybe.
I'm sure that's what Mike Brown was hoping when he left him in there.
No doubt. There's been one story Ramie has been salivating to discuss this week. We're going to finally get to it next.
Cattles and Ramie.
Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Mark Finan in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Skies will stay mainly clear to partly cloudy tonight with overnight lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow will be sunny and warm with daytime highs in the low to mid-80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Call now and find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril while supplies last. Call 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150. Free bottles for limited time. So call now, 800-993-2150, 800-993-2150.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for the weekend? Right now, generic Viagra, aka Sildenafil, is just $4 per dose at Roman. Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends what you need in discreet packaging with 2-day shipping. Generic Viagra from $4 at Roman. Go to ro.co/Viagra. Do it today and get 20% off your entire first order. That's ro.co/Viagra.
Make your way to the ballpark on Sunday, April 30th to watch your A's go head-to-head with the Cincinnati Reds. Get there early to grab your very own Tony Kemp poster presented by Kaiser Permanente. This one-of-a-kind poster giveaway features TK and his iconic catch.
Diving play to his right. Unbelievable catch by Tony Kemp. Spectacular.
Tickets start at just $10 and are available at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Want to kick back with your favorite British TV? Escape with Britain's best series only on BritBox. Don't miss new and exclusive releases, including BritBox original drama Stonehouse, starring Succession's Matthew McFadden.
It's Stonehouse, John Stonehouse.
Follow the unbelievable true story of the British politician who faked his own death.
I deny those allegations in the strongest possible terms.
Succession's Matthew McFadden stars in BritBox's new original drama, Stonehouse. Stream this and more at BritBox.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Truck season savings extended at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door. Did you catch all the week's headlines?
Check the headline. Check the headline. Here's the headline.
Let the fellas fill you in on this week's In Other News.
All right. Ramie's been waiting all week. He's been dying to talk about this story.
Haven't we all?
And we've been so busy with the Kings all week.
Kings schmings.
We put this on the back burner. And we put it on the back burner way too many times now.
Way too many times.
So I'm just going to give way to Ramie because he is like a 6-year-old on Christmas morning.
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, of course, Florida
is where we go for today's story in other news.
Yeah.
And a plane on a flight from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. How far is that? Orlando
No idea.
To Fort Lauderdale. It can't be very far, right? Same state.
I mean, hold on. I could Maps Google this bad boy.
Do that while I tell the people what happened.
Tell the people what's
Short.
Apparently, the plane was in a holding pattern. I'm not the most experienced flyer. I understand delays. I understand. What is a hold? Does that mean you're up in the air?
Yeah, you're circling around.
You're up in the air, but you can't go anywhere. You're just circling around.
Yes, correct.
So the plane, a Southwest Airlines flight.
It is a nonstop 1-hour flight.
Okay.
Yep, nice short.
All right. So the plane was in a 45-minute holding pattern.
Oh, my God.
For a 1-hour flight.
Oh, my God.
I've been there.
That would be hell for me with my inner ear thing, dude. My inner ear with the cabin pressure going up and down.
Brother. Yeah, you and babies. You and babies, Nick Kettles, can't handle the
I've
pressure.
said it. When a baby cries in an airplane, a lot of times I know exactly why, because I'm feeling the pressure as they're feeling the pressure.
Well, this baby on this plane is crying the whole time.
Oh, boy.
45 minutes.
All right, the whole flight or the 45 minutes they were going on.
45-minute holding pattern.
Okay.
This baby was crying.
For 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Okay.
And one passenger, one I was going to say gentleman. I don't know that we can call him a gentleman. One man had enough of this crying baby and this holding pattern.
I have not heard this, so.
Mind over a baby.
That child has been crying for 40 minutes. Over that, and you can't get your finger about things like that. Calm the child down, please. I had headphones on. I was sleeping. Why is the baby yelling? I'm not screaming. You want me to scream? You want me to scream? I'll f***ing scream. Please stop the baby. Please. That child was a black baby. What the f*** would be happening right now? I know you're not going there. You're not going there. I'm going there. We're not in Florida yet. You can't do what the f*** you feel like. I was asleep the whole time. You haven't served me anything. I
try to keep my calm, but if I wasn't on this plane,
there's a child crying on the flight. Non-stop. That's what's happening. Lower his voice. No, let's not. No. Let's be rational. Hold on. You want to be rational?
Rational. Let's be rational.
Let's be rational. We are in a tin can with a baby in a goddamn echo chamber, and you want to talk to me about being okay? Because you're yelling. So is the baby. Shut up. I don't give a f***. Lower that baby's voice. It's out there. What happened? I'm sorry. I'm tripping.
I'm tripping.
So is the baby.
So is the baby.
Yes, it's that little bleeper paid extra to yell.
That was the part when he said, so is the baby. And did he pay extra to yell?
Would it surprise any of you to know that the plane was grounded and the man refused to deboard, so they deported the whole plane, and then police and security escorted him off the plane, and he was placed under arrest after a conversation with officers and security.
Dude, look,
back at the gates.
Here's the first thing I'll say, okay? When you are in a moment of insanity, you can't possibly act the way you'd like to act rationally at all times, right? I'm not excusing this man's language or approach. Not excusing what you just heard. But all I'm going to tell you is put yourself in that man's sneakers. Okay? If there is a baby that's near you screaming at the top of its lungs for 45 straight minutes, I'm not telling you should do what he did.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you I kind of understand what he did.
Yep, it's the old Chris Rock. I'm not saying I would have done it.
Yes.
But I understand. Right, exactly.
Like, the kid's been crying at the top of its lungs for 45. The fact is, this dude just lost his mind because he's just been hearing this baby scream for almost an hour.
You could see the video. The person you're going to feel the most for while watching this video
is not the baby.
It's not the baby. It's not the parents.
The baby's just screaming.
It's not the parents of the baby. It's the wife of that giant baby that you just heard going off for damn near 2 minutes. She is embarrassed,
mortified,
beyond all possibility.
What was the worst moment for her? Was it him doing that for 2 minutes, or was it the fact he wouldn't get off the plane?
No, it was during the 2 minutes that she just has her face in her hand because she just can't believe that the man she's decided to spend the rest of her life with is yelling at a baby.
Do you think he approached the mother first and was like, "Can you calm your kid down," or did he just go directly to this?
I don't know.
But, like, was he just everything was just like the baby was crying, and then out of nowhere, this dude stood up and just started going crazy.
This went viral, and it has sparked debates on social media.
Oh, I'm sure it has.
People saying he has a point and blah blah blah. Am I out of pocket, out of line? Does it make me a bad person or not not understanding or sympathetic person to say, how about we put a family cabin on the plane? How about we put a family cabin on planes and parents maybe pay a couple extra bucks?
You're saying it's insulated?
It's insulated. Okay. The rest of us don't have to hear your baby. You know, and I'm not saying that man was right to yell the way that he yelled.
Let's be rational. I'm in a tin can.
JJ is the only parent on this show. JJ, is that inconsiderate of me to say airlines should consider a family cabin on planes so we don't all have to hear your baby crying?
You asking the wrong parent, because I would say no.
Okay.
No, I mean, I understand it because I've been on both sides. Like I never took my daughter. I think the earliest she had ever got on the flight was about 2.5. That's when I was still living in LA, coming back and forth. But she was okay with it, thank the Lord. It's tough, man. It's tough to get on the plane with an infant. You have no controls. Mm-hmm. The infant can't tell you what's wrong. I don't know. I'm with you, Ramie. It could be. Yes, I wouldn't be against it.
I'm a big believer of just not flying with infants. Like if they're under like 2 years old, unless you have an emergency or something, or it's a family situation, like that's part of the sacrifice to me. Like you're not going to be able to jump on a plane and do it. Like
for at least a year or two.
Yeah, for at least a year or two. That's what I mean. Like, at least a year or two.
It reminds me of talking in hotel rooms, this whole thing. Sorry. Happy Friday.
Completely opposite.
Yeah, shut her microphone off. She's done for the week.
But that line,
Simone's
so is the baby.
Pocket. Simone's more out of pocket than that dude this week.
So is the baby. Did he pay extra?
Thanks to JJ and Simone. Great stuff, Ramie. Glad we ended it on that note. You've been looking forward to it all week. Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the weather. Be safe. Let's hope for a W on Sunday. We'll be back here on Monday to talk about it. Till then, Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports.
Sports. Peace. The Sacramento Kings lost their first postseason game Thursday